Welcome back to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network. By Cinephiles, for Cinephiles.
Sign languaging. Oh my god.
We are back. We are back in studio, continuing our animation month.
You didn't say the thing.
What thing?
Towercast is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
That's a good point. Before we even roll on anything or get started on introductions, we do have a live studio audience, and you guys can make some noise today. They're not on camera or mics, but I'm sure the cam mics will pick them up. We have Ian, and Jean joining us in the studio today.
Ian and Ian share the same brain cells.
What was that third one?
Jean, yeah, that's your dog. That's your dog, Jean,
No,
right?
there could only be one Jean, bro.
Who's gonna fight?
And it's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Today after this podcast, we'll settle it.
Yeah, so they're joining. They're going to be on the lookout for their podcast, which we'll give a shout out to soon once they kind of have everything
Always
ready
Sunny
to roll.
in Philadelphia.
No,
Fuck
definitely not. But they're gonna be having their own podcast covering stuff like video games, pop culture stuff. It's gonna be really cool. They wanted to tap into the Watchtower and just hang out and see how we do things. So they're our quote unquote live studio audience today.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I love it. It's great. I promise it's not a button. They're actually here. Cool.
It's just one guy.
I want to introduce the room. We have Mr. Eric C.K. Nunez in the bag. Make sure we're sounding good on the ones and twos. And handling everything on the back end. We unfortunately don't have our pal Austin Young today.
We have Nomathy.
That dude fell asleep.
We have Nomathy right here.
Something happened.
Shout out Nomathy.
But no, due to unforeseen
That
circumstances.
dude's a bear, man. You can't wake him up till fucking 6
Due to
months from now.
unforeseen circumstances, my boy couldn't make it today. But shout out to Austin. You know, he's always looking out for us.
Shout
making sure we're
out.
good. So
Man with a plan.
we have Mr. Jean-Eric Gasser giving us an acting perspective today.
I can't see anything from the
Dude, they're fucking dark. I was trying them on earlier.
Wait.
I'm your acting connoisseur and your pick. I guess I'm the one that picked Toy Story today.
Playmate of the month. Yeah, that's right. It is your
My
pick
favorite film,
today.
so, yeah.
I like that guy. That guy rocks.
Mr. Michael Della offering a cinematography perspective.
I like when the camera does shit. It makes me feel things.
It does make you feel things. The camera does do things in this one.
you
I
know
feel
what?
like you didn't give it credit because I would like point out
Oh,
shots.
no.
And you were like, I just can't.
Hey. I said, give it a little bit more luster.
That's a good point.
I do have a lot to talk about when it comes to the camera on this one because I feel like Pixar has always had an eye
here
for
we
making.
start. How many times are we going to count Pixar?
Yeah, Pixar.
Pixar. We got two so far.
Pixar.
Pixar did what now?
Pixar.
Uh-huh.
It hurts. It hurts to say like
to
that.
say it correctly.
Pixar.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lazy tonguing the Pixar.
Welcome to my world.
Well, cheers to that. Cheers to cinematography.
Cinema.
Cheers.
Cinematography.
Actually,
No,
made
but,
my coffee today.
And
Oh, guys, and including you guys, you have to, before we begin the podcast, you have to list one thing you like about Carlo.
what?
Oh,
What?
yes,
This is not
yes.
a thing. No.
So this is a thing. This is a thing.
Refuse to let this be a thing. This is like the third
Let it
episode.
happen
I don't like it.
organically.
Yeah, let it
Accept
happen.
Hey, we love you.
I like his smile.
Oh.
You know what? I'm thinking that's an and one shirt, not an Andy shirt, bro. Is
I know, right? The Walmart basketball brand.
it Andy?
my
Oh, I love it.
That's my dog.
Nah, before John Eric says it, I like your shirt.
That's my dog.
Hey, don't steal that from me, bro.
dude.
That's mine, bro. Don't steal that. Don't do that.
Dude, don't.
He can't see you either way.
I'm looking over here right now, bro.
I'm
And
gonna
then
keep
you, bro.
going.
You.
I'm gonna
No,
keep
you're
going.
up. You're up.
It's your turn.
We didn't hear you.
Oh, me?
You always take this long.
Yeah.
I mean, you ironed your pants, I guess.
I don't. Who irons their pants? Who irons their jeans?
Guilty.
You iron your jeans?
Cowboys.
I throw it in the dryer.
I really like. I love that hand gesture. Guilty. Like, just, yeah. Put some stank on it.
Yeah.
I'm your humble film servant, Carlos Zandatora, offering a writing directing perspective.
Emphasis on the
Chill,
word
bro.
humble.
I'm gonna stop saying humble because you guys fucking trash me every time I use this word.
humble so much, bro. It's just like
Yeah, that's why like you're so humble. We had to start listing things we like about
Oh
you.
gosh. So if I stop saying humble, will you guys stop? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
find
the
out
things
where
we
it's at.
hate about
Nothing
you.
guaranteed.
I hate your fucking smile.
God damn. 0 to 100, boy. Goddamn.
All right. I'll take it.
Oh, you still got a friend in me. though.
Today boom, perfect bridge. Today we're going to talk about the first computer animated
Yes.
film,
CGI all the way through.
1995's Toy Story. Yeah. So Disney Pixar's, first collaboration on feature films, and the first computer animated film. There's a lot of great history to like Pixar in and of itself, and I won't get into like all of it, but I think it's the coolest thing ever because the people in this room quite literally like this is the Toy Story generation. This is kind of the Pixar generation.
Absolutely
You know?
with me.
Growing up on it, I was literally born the year Toy Story
What
came
is it,
out.
95?
95.
Yeah.
95.
I must have been
Fuck
like,
yeah.
what, 6 years old?
6.
We were the target audience.
Wow.
We were the target audience.
Yeah.
But
weren't even born yet,
Pixar
bro.
comes from a really interesting place. We covered, if you guys remember, when was documentary month? Last year? We did a documentary month?
Yeah.
So we did documentary month. We covered a doc called Side by Side, and if you guys remember, they cover the transition between film and digital. And kind of on the digital side, that's where it started affecting animation, right? Because you could generate images via a computer. So George Lucas talks about how his company, Lucasfilm, along with ILM, basically created the Pixar computer. They gave it that name, the Pixar computer.
Whoa.
And they basically created the technology, sold it to Steve Jobs.
What?
Apple's Steve Jobs, yeah. And Steve Jobs, along with John Lasseter, who's the founder of one of the founders of Pixar. I like to call him the godfather of Pixar because he's the man.
And Pete Doctor.
Well, there's 4 of them. It's Andrew Stanton, Pete Doctor.
From 1 to 4?
Yeah, there's 4 of them. It's Andrew Stanton, Pete Doctor.
He was
No. Well, Steve Wozniak was an Apple. I don't know. Who was it?
Tom Brady,
John Cast.
Dr. Seuss,
John Gone.
You son of a bitch.
P. Diddy.
Andrew Stanton, Pete Doctor, John Lasseter, and I'm forgetting the 4th. It
I'm
might
with
have
you
been
Wu-Tang ain't
either
there for the
Lee
fuck.
Unkrich or somebody, but
Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan. They were the co-founders of Pixar.
Yeah.
They partnered up with Disney to make a feature film via funding from Steve Jobs.
Wait, so I got a quick question.
Yeah.
What was the first project that Pixar ever produced? Like
This one.
They did short films.
Short films?
They did short films. They had kind of a slew of short films, and it's funny because in Toy Story, in Andy's bookshelf, all the books, there's like 4 books.
yeah.
Those are the short films that Pixar
Really?
produced
Did you see
before.
the
See,
Tin
that's
Toy
one
one?
thing
The
Pixar
Tin
does.
Toy.
Yeah.
So there's Tin Toy. There's
The Snow Globe.
the Snow. Oh man, bring up the titles. But there's 4 or 5 short films. One of them was an Academy Award winning short film, which was the Tin Toy one. That was John Lasseter's kind of first sting out, and he won an Oscar for
And it
Wait,
short.
was that the creepy baby one?
No, it was
Yes.
the tin.
Yeah, it was the creepy baby one where the tin toy is running away from the
Yeah,
baby.
from the
about to
creepy
eat it.
baby. Why'd you
That's
say
where-
no? You've seen
Because
that
I don't
child.
think creepy baby when I think the tin toy. I think the tin toy when
I think the creepy ass baby. That
Who the
thing
fuck
is
is the Tin Toy?
terrifying.
well, that creepy ass baby won an Oscar. Okay, so take that for whatever you want.
yeah, well, so
Ooh.
did the guy who won a Nora. Okay, creepy ass.
No.
Anyway.
Anyways, fast forward.
A Nora
They
wins.
basically decide, okay, we can make a feature film out of this. And we talked about how Shrek basically was the first Oscar winner for an animated feature film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Toy Story technically beat it a smidge on the technicality. John Lasseter won an honorary Oscar for
What the fuck
Toy
is an
Story.
honorary Oscar?
Well,
Like-
it's the same.
like
We talked about Walt Disney when he won for Snow White, right? Where the Academy basically gets together and says, "Well, we don't quite have a category for this yet,
Oh, okay.
but we want to honor your achievement in cinema." And it's really crazy if you think about the connection there, the through line.
I kinda like
Walt Disney makes the first animated feature film ever, Snow White. He gets an honorary Oscar for moving that medium kind of forward, right, and innovation. And then John Lasseter gets an honorary Oscar for Toy Story for the first computer animated film.
almost like it was.
That's really cool,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
For all the homies out there who don't know and still don't respect John Lasseter,
Yeah.
from the years 1986 to 1989,
Yeah.
he created shorts like Luxo Jr.,
Luxo Jr.
Red's Dream, Tin Toy, and Knick Knack.
So he was born.
Knick
to
Knack. Knick Knack's the
Knick
snow
Knack.
globe one.
Knick
I
Knack,
love
Knick
Knick
Knack.
Knack.
What's Red's dream?
So Red's Dream.
You spit in my coffee?
I did.
Yeah. So apparently,
I see
it's,
it.
Fuck the Lugian.
he's gonna start chewing his coffee.
That's the most visceral thing. Huck the
Literally one of my
Lugian.
worst fears right there, bro.
Sorry, I hucked the Lugian.
Red's Dream is a 1987 American animated short film written and directed by John Lasseter and produced by Pixar.
97.
The short film, which runs 4 minutes, stars Red, a unicycle, propped up in the corner of a bicycle store on a rainy night.
Yeah.
So from there, I think you can just imagine.
Watch
what
them.
happened.
Watch them. Look, they're so full of this imagination. You really get to see.
So the tricycle talks?
You know,
Nah.
I think you got to watch the movie in order to find out.
Yes, but
But yeah,
like
this
that's
is
kind
like-
of the you see it. You see the connection,
right,
right?
right.
You see that they're taking 3D animation, computer generated images, and saying like, we can do something special with this. So what's more special than making your toys come to life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's like, for instance, Bo Peep. Bo Peep, the character, comes from a story from like the 1800s
Yeah.
where the toys come to life.
Wow.
Really?
That's
I
why
always think
Bo Peep
everything's
exists in
original.
Toy Story.
Nothing's ever original.
Well, I mean,
I thought she was just there to be like the token
The-
female character.
Yeah.
the token female who gives
I
up
thought
like
she was
Woody
there.
Yeah,
for
for
like
real.
the hot space toy.
Yeah, I thought she was there for sex appeal.
That was the mom, bro.
That's the mom, yeah.
And his
Yeah.
mom, bro. Those
Not for
ankles.
nothing, man, but like Bo Peep, I really
We
like.
all have that one film growing up
Dude.
that we
I got
kept putting
hives
on
from
at the
that
age
shit,
of
bro.
13 and we'd
Literally
pause.
hives.
When I think
Mine
about,
wasn't Toy Story. I'm
when I
sorry.
think about Bo Peep, I think about like how cool. I don't know if this was a direct inspiration or anything like that, but I like anything Wizard of Oz related, right? So
Ugh.
Oz the Great and Powerful, the little glass doll, that reminds me of Bo Peep because of the shine on the glass and all of that kind of stuff. Like I feel like if Pixar wouldn't have made Toy Story and we wouldn't have had the Bo Peep character, and then you see a little more of that in Toy Story 4, kind of like her coming to life. And
I
becoming-
regret
Yeah.
to watch Toy Story 4, bro.
Ooh, dude, honestly,
Why?
If
You
you don't
regret or
read-
you refuse?
Huh?
You've seen it?
No.
Okay, so you refuse.
you refuse.
What did I say?
I'm
You
not
said
gonna
you
lie.
regret.
It's definitely a movie that doesn't need to be made, but
Exactly.
It's really
not
good.
bad. It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
I
It's
heard
not bad.
Quentin Tarantino saying that that's the perfect trilogy, and
It
the
is.
fourth one, and it just stuck
No,
with me.
but
I'm
he
like, I'm never
also
watching that.
he's also Quentin who would like
Yeah.
like
You guys are the ones that
he
hate
stopped
Quentin, bro.
watching a movie just because it's like
Yeah.
after like what
Well,
a director's 10th film.
Yeah,
like
but you guys are hit something on the nose there. Toy Story spawned 3 sequels and
Fuck yeah.
animated series and a bunch of shit.
TV series or some shit.
Yeah,
too.
well,
Games.
there's like the Halloween series, a bunch of shit.
Right.
Obviously,
there's all these like
games.
specials. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're here to talk about the first one. I mean, obviously, subsequently, we'll talk about the other ones. Somebody asked us today, like, are you guys going to cover like 2, 3, and 4? I'm like, no, we probably won't. But we
We'll
can kind
mention
of like
them.
Shrek.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
kind of compress it and talk about all of them here.
it
So
fits into it,
let's
yeah.
kick this off as we always do. Let's go into ratings, and then we can get into what we think about this one.
Shit.
Just a brief history on Pixar, and then now we
So-
can.
So
Who's gonna start the
I'm the
rating?
one because it's my film, bro.
It is your film.
I
You can
dictate
pick
this one.
whoever
You
you
literally
dictate.
have the crown on. Right
Can I
now.
start?
Yeah,
I'm gonna start, and then we're gonna go with this guy. This dude over here.
that guy right there.
Look, man, I grew up with Toy Story. I remember I saw it when I was like 6, 7 with my dad.
sorry to hear about that.
It's actually pretty special, bro. It's actually pretty beautiful, man. I used to live like about 2 blocks away from a Cinemark.
Oh, nice.
Also, he like took you to the theater to go see it.
Yeah, we actually
that's
rode
cool.
my bike because it was like really close.
Where the fuck you leave your bike during the movie? You guys.
We took it in.
With the bouncers.
Oh, and then
Small bike.
they still had the audacity that they liked the middle seat in the theater.
Let me mention.
Bike on the aisle.
Excuse me.
Let me say this. Let me add this. It was in Juarez.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
so
Move it.
All right.
You could literally take your dogs in
Con
there.
permiso.
No, but it was the first time, like, it kind of like, when I saw Toy Story, it kind of rewired my brain. It was the first time, you know, I was the one that, oh my God, I looked at stuffed animals, toys. I
You
was even the guy.
started shaking your bear. Where are they hiding?
No, no, you'd be like doing this. You'd be doing this, and then
Yeah.
like-
Or walk out the door and try to like, and then stop. So I was that guy. So I think
That's cool.
Toy Story has a big not just a movie, but a big
Nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
yeah, and then you learn a lot about this film too when you watch it. Like it's not just comedy, but it also has a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of like,
Yeah.
what is it like? Self-identity.
I think
Yeah.
John Eric found himself watching this movie.
I think he did. I think it was very existential.
To be honest with
I mean,
you,
it kind of is, right?
it's the first time that I saw a film that it didn't just entertain me. It was the first time that I kind of like, oh wow, like not everything's forever, right? That's the whole point of the story, right? Friendships, you got to outgrow stuff. So it was the first time that taught me something that it's not just entertainment. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
there's a meaning to this, right? That's why
Yeah.
I kept watching it. And there's a reason why I kind of like certain scenes. But yeah, I'll give it a 9.9 because it's
Wow.
Hey,
It's-
okay.
Damn.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I did a lot from my childhood.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Not that crazy, bro.
That's
9.9 for Toy Story.
what's the line that Louis always uses? Like, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
It's like, bitch, I know it ain't that funny.
I don't care who this Lisa cunt is, but she ain't that funny.
Hilarious.
It's just toys, bro.
I don't know. I think similar to like the last couple of episodes, I'm really struggling on this. Where does it lie in cinema? And it's because for what it's doing, like animation's always had that factor of like, well, the first big question is this something that could only be told through animation? And like for sure. When you watch this, the whole toys coming to life and interacting with the adults, it couldn't be done live action. If it was, because you could do like some trickery, like the whole Honey I Shrunk the Kids and like Small People and all that kind of stuff. But the characters like Slink or the dinosaur, all those that have like their what is it
Green
called?
screen.
Their slapstick comedy quirks.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have worked in a live action film.
Mr.
So
Potato Head with all of his face features.
Every time is the one that got fucking.
Everything
got
about
shit.
like this film is justification for animation, and also like how they can use their own visual comedy and create their own norms, which I
for
love. I also could see a lot of like the filmmaker merit in like the shots and the composition where they really did play with like there's one angle you're going to shoot this, because going from like 2D to 3D, in a 2D you're just trying to make that flat plane as beautiful and colored as possible, and like have all the emotion and intentionality.
Well, I'm glad you used that word before. I know you're getting ready to give your rating, but I'm glad you used that word like a comic strip, right? Plain. Like you're waiting for the next strip of the comic to come into the animation to an extent, right? You're kind of waiting for that linear thing.
Yeah.
Walt Disney changed that. We talked about the multi-plane camera last episode and how he revolutionized depth and in animation and how we could go into a story. And that obviously allows you to be a filmmaker in animation, because you could choose composition without being obstructed by 2D.
Yeah.
You know, so I think of it in terms of linear film strips, like a comic strip, and how Walt Disney flipped that on its head and was like, well, how can we do this differently? And then Pixar flips that on its head, and it's like, well, we're not limited to dimensions now. We could genuinely fuck around
like
and do some stuff.
look at the comparison
Brand new
for
era.
like Ernest and Celestine, which was like a 2D animated film,
Right.
Very modern, but watching that film was like turning the pages of a book, right?
Yeah.
And then this one, it's like lack of a better term, but it's like a movie.
Oh no!
Where you can be in the world,
Hot
and
take.
like now the camera can be a character,
Right.
Hot take, but the camera can be a character, and I
Or
noticed,
even if it's not a character, it can be a witness in a way that
Yes.
in animation you really couldn't before.
yes, because now it's characters that are able to live in a world, a
Right.
3-dimensional world, and now we can choose how we want to capture that.
Yeah.
And
Dude, imagine the balls that you have to have in order to create an animation film. Because I feel like in the regular like live action filmmakers space, one of the biggest things is how your film changes from storyboard to picture.
Yeah.
But in animation, your storyboard is gonna be the picture.
Oh yeah, I think about that a lot. Like my brother, he used to be in animation.
Oh shit!
Not in a like, he didn't carry on with it, but during high school he was very much into animation in high school, and I kind of like would encourage him, like, dude, you should do this. Like this is so cool, and I feel like that's where I kind of caught a bug of like, oh, anybody could be a storyteller. You could genuinely come from anywhere and tell, because he was just using his animation to create just like recreations of our cousin's stupid drunk stories,
Hey.
and it was
Damn,
cool.
that's so
But that's my point. Like it humanized it, right? It wasn't like him trying to do a comic strip or something. He was like,
It's a
I'm going to
creative outlet that he
animate
was-
an experience that happened to us.
Do you still have those animations?
Yeah, I'm sure they're somewhere,
so
and I
sick.
think I'm in a couple of them. But
Shit, brother would be like, oh, shit.
but yeah, I mean they're around somewhere. But my point is like it's you're absolutely right, dude. I would see my brother on a shitty little laptop animating frame by frame, and it's not an easy thing.
It's
It
tedious.
really isn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
on any level, Pixar for Toy Story had 110 animators. By comparison, The Lion King had 800.
Damn.
Okay, that tells you a
Holy
few
shit.
things. It tells you where Pixar was at the time. It tells you
94, 90, 95.
how unfortunately a computer could reduce some of that work. Let's call a spade a spade. I mean, that's how you can minimize bodies by not having people hand drawing shit.
Oh, dude, but back when like,
Right?
Mickey
So
Mouse and all that
110
shit.
animators, and it tells you a few things, but it does tell you like I forget the number. It's on IMDb, but there was so many man hours for this shit, like working through the night to get this thing finished. And like we talked about Jeffrey Katzenberg in Shrek because he was the guy who made Shrek to make fun of Disney, right? He was at the head of Disney during Toy Story, and he hated it. He didn't like
The
that
first
Toy
watch?
Story. Well, he doesn't. He did it. Yeah, the first kind of drafts that came in for
Oh,
Toy Story.
okay.
He thought they weren't edgy enough. What does that tell you?
Wow.
Shrek was all the edge you could get in an animated film. Toy Story, he wanted grit and edge, and no, we don't need to do that. Like
no, Shrek was a different era.
That's what he was doing.
Shrek, we're in the 2000s, right? This is
No,
90s.
but even in the 90s, like, I mean, we talked
Yeah.
about last time, like Ren and Stimpy, like,
Oh, yeah,
there
that
was
was
already
risky for sure.
this want
Yeah.
for us to get away from animation just
Dude,
being
The
these, like,
Simpsons.
little, like,
Like,
spoon
Like The Simpsons have been around since the 80s. Like The Simpsons have been doing it too. Family Guy came out in the late 90s.
Yeah, true. And that was the best time when you came out.
And
That
by the
sucks.
way, that was Seth MacFarlane coming out of the animation bubble of Cartoon Network and Hanna-Barbera and starting a cartoon that's edgier.
Yeah.
Again, there's a market for that. But Disney and Pixar were like, no, we want to hold the fidelity of this thing being seen through the kids' eyes, and opening an imagination. And
Which is like golden, dude.
It's
Like,
golden.
Selfishly on this
Stay golden,
perspective,
yeah.
dude. My first time watching Pixar, it makes you feel like as a kid, it makes you feel as if this is the world. Like your imagination is just running around.
Yeah.
Like now, my toy cowboy. What can it actually do?
Right.
What can
Yeah.
it, how can it explore? And then I don't know. I feel like that just motivates.
it does so much.
different-
It fuels, it kickstarts your imagination in a way that other things just can't.
Quick
Yeah.
note,
Rating,
just so we
rating,
can.
rating,
Yeah, I was
rating.
gonna say, do you want to just do rapid fire the rest
Yeah,
of them, and
go
then
for
we'll
it,
just
go
get
for
into it? I'll give this one a 9.1. I feel like it does tip the scale when it comes to 9.
Okay.
Hold on, let me breathe a little bit.
Breathe a little
Hey.
bit.
Take that in.
Pégalo,
quick.
pégalo.
I mean, it's a 9, so all right, go. You're good.
No, I think 9.1. It
we're
tips the
good.
scale for 9 because it's innovative. I
Yeah.
mean, it's innovative in every way, and I mean, this is now like an art form that we're talking so much about. Like,
Right.
how can we keep expanding the
Yeah.
3D space? Because this is what kicked off animation also having something like in Toy Story 4 where they simulated real cinema cameras and lenses
Right.
inside to give you a real cinema texture
Yeah.
to an animated film. Like that would have never happened if it wasn't for some like Toy Story showing that it could be done.
Isn't it safe to say too? Like we talked about Shrek being innovative in a lot of ways, but cinematically not really doing anything.
Not
Yeah.
pushing anything.
But Pixar was almost made by filmmakers. George
Yeah.
Lucas was responsible for Pixar.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna give credit there because if it weren't filmmakers, like that's why I give James Cameron a lot of credit. Okay, he's only working on Avatar films, but he's simultaneously working on something that's pushing the film technology forward and still being a damn good storyteller while
yeah.
doing it. You know? That's hard, dude, and it means you have to commit to like that one specific thing. That's why I respected John Lasseter so much.
Absolutely.
John Lasseter, like, had he not been Me Too'd for the dumbest fucking reasons, because it was just in that era. He was
He was
canceled
Me
for
Too'd?
he was Me Too'd very wrongly. And we could talk about this.
He was just
but-
caught in the wrong time.
yeah, it was just stupid. It wasn't even actual or factual in a way that other situations are. But
Like LeBron and Diddy.
right.
No, the new one's Drewski and Diddy. Bro.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw he was on the list. Ratings. We'll
But
talk
Michael
about all the
Jackson's
controversy right now, but ratings. So 9.1.
Yeah.
9.1.
It's okay,
What's your
bro.
rating?
It's all right.
I'm up there, man. I'm up there. Obviously, fucking biased as hell, right? I love Disney. I love
9.5.
Pixar. I love
Bring it
everything they
down.
stand for.
Movies today.
I'm at a
9.3.
9.7. I'm at a 9.7.
Okay.
Really?
This I know cinema.
The crowd likes that. The crowd likes
I
that.
just,
That's all
man,
his toys. That's all his movies. Everything back there.
Yeah, these are all mine. That's a popcorn bucket
You
from
literally-
Disneyland,
That's
man.
awesome, bro.
He pulled up to the parking lot with a trunk full of that stuff, and we were
Bricked
like,
up on a
"Holy
Wednesday."
shit."
Oh, Austin
cheeked
has
up and
Double
everything.
resurfaced.
cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon.
Austin has resurfaced.
That's lovely.
So he's okay.
Dude, I'll give you $5 and a drop breaker for that.
No, dude, Eller wanted it. Eller came to my house and was like, dude,
It's
I
good.
want this thing. And I was like, I almost gave it to him. Dude, I felt so bad.
Nah.
But Eller literally, if you know Eller, shout out Eller Coltrane. He was in Soho's this time. And Boyhood. You know, just casual. But
casual.
Eller loves Toy Story so much
Who does it?
that his truck, the truck he drives, is the fucking
Oh,
Toyota from Toy Story.
got the
He,
truck.
like, he's told me, like, if you see the Criterion cover of Boyhood, like, if you go into the liner notes, you see Eller next to a truck. That's his truck. It's
That's-
the Toyota from Toy Story. And he told me, he's like, I've only ever driven these trucks. Like, all my cars have been this truck. Like, I've had a few of them.
I lose my shit.
And he's like, so like seeing the Pixar, it's because of this Pixar truck. So every time I look at the thing, I'm like, fuck, man, I should have just given it to him. Like, this really does
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
something
yeah.
to him.
Yeah,
But they're
it's just
fucking
your-
limited popcorn buckets, yo. You can't find them just
Yeah,
like.
it's just
How
your
did you get it?
popcorn bucket.
You
that
go to
you're just-
Disneyland and like every season they'll have a different popcorn bucket.
Oh, so it
And
wasn't
it's
as a kid you got it.
limited. It's a
Oh,
collectible.
last year
They
was
won't.
Dune, right?
I don't know.
But
I couldn't
they
tell if it was-
usually don't bring them back anymore. Like it's the one and
Limited
done.
edition?
So
Fuck yeah.
that's pretty cool. Anyways, I'm at a 9.7. Am I? No, you're the last one.
I am the last one.
Rapid fire.
9.4. I'll give it a solid 9.4.
9.4.
Why do I give it a 9.4?
Hold on.
Yes.
9.4. Really quick. I know we're missing your boy, but we'll just shout out your ratings,
Wait, no.
guys, for Toy Story. What?
So here, if you don't mind, if you go behind Eric, we can see you and there's a microphone, so we can actually hear you
Join
too.
me
give
over
us your
here.
ratings on the
So
quick.
we're gonna line you up.
But you gotta rub Eric's nose.
Call of Duty Zombies. You too, little man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Why'd you call him little?
Oh,
I don't know. He's taller than Ian.
Here you go, guys.
Don't forget to rub his nose before you talk.
Hey.
All right, this is our live audience.
Special guest.
Yo.
Austin answer.
Right. So, live rating.
9.4.
Yeah.
9.4.
I like it.
Wait. You can give like one sentence why. Jeez.
You're in the hot seat.
I'm the hot squad, bro.
They call me squatter, not Potter.
9.4. When I was a kid, the first time I watched this, I was like, damn, this is such a good movie. And then years later, I found out that it was the first 3D animated movie.
Yeah.
Which made it impressive because I was like, it looks good to be the first one.
Dude,
9.4.
9.4. Woo! Next in line.
Next.
We had Ian.
Who's next?
On
Ian number
Ian.
2. Wait, what was the question?
What's your ratings? And like
really
give
quickly.
a little explanation on like why you rated it that way.
If it was only story wise, I would be like a 8. But it is the first, CGI kind of movie. There's everything, so I'm gonna go up to like a 9.2.
Okay.
It was a nice story and everything, but hey, it was the beginning,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the kickoff, right, for everything else that's gonna happen.
Exactly. And after
Yeah.
this, we have a lot of good films, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Give it up for our live studio audience.
Wait, we have one more.
We have one.
Did that dude just say an 8?
Jean.
Jean.
Johnny boy.
Hey, man. Better start calling him something else.
Giannafario.
Well, I will rate this movie 9.7 since it was the only movie that I had when I was a kid.
I think you're a genius.
Wow.
You're a genius, bro. I think so.
Thank your parents for not getting more movies.
It was the only VHS at home, so I watched
Oh, that's a weird way to
it a
grow
lot
up.
of times.
Dude, mine was this one and Ice Age. Like those were the two that VHS that I had, and like
Mine was this one and Lethal Weapon 2.
All right. All right, guys.
hey!
All right. So
You guys ever watched
man,
Salo as a kid?
Simba?
Salo? Nah. Just kidding.
What?
What?
You guys haven't seen Salo?
Sailor?
Nah, dude, I fuck
It's a
bitches.
joke.
What the fuck is that?
Are we gonna have to pull up Fritz the cat again?
No, dear God, no. We're all at 9s or above.
9.
Again, doesn't happen that often on this
That
podcast.
is true. Yeah.
You call that a
mad.
German rating?
9.
9.
Kevin Smith already does that bit. He already does that bit. No, but yeah, I think we can now. After the ratings, we could definitely get into why this is impactful, right? And
Could we start with story? Because story shit, like,
yes,
it is something that's so fucking, like, to write a story that well, so tight, is like, damn. You'd usually want to, like, innovate in stories, but that's like when a lot of people kind of go stretching. But this followed the story structure very well to a T, and I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why it became.
we were going back and forth about this. We were talking about act structure and where the acts were beginning and where the acts were ending.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of beats that are very strong, so you end up feeling like, is this the act break? Is this the act break? And
Yeah.
we're kind of going back and forth about that. But I think as filmmakers, when a film can do that and it keeps us guessing, keeps tricks guessing, I think that's really special.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
dude.
You know, because you end up walking out of the theater like, was that a 5-act? Was that a 3-act? Was that like, and Toy Story, like, again, in its foundation, on its most foundational level,
Jackie
it's a very
Chan box
simple story,
collection,
right? Not simple in terms of animation or even imagination, but it's a simple story on paper. Toys come to life. Toy gets jealous of new toy. Boom, whatever. But
You know what? I'm gonna put that on Andy's mom, bro. What the hell, bro?
Yeah.
You put a new shiny toy and
How dare she be a single mom, right?
no.
fuck her.
single
She
mom
expected
yeah.
it's
working
gonna
the night
happen.
shifts at the
Yeah,
graveyard.
planning
and
out your
nursing.
I have a
son's
theory.
birthday
I have a
party
theory on
and
that.
inviting-
Villain in this film, bro.
I have a theory on that. Like, everybody, we're talking about, like, who's the real villain of this film.
No,
But-
because look, Sid is an aspiring engineer, bro.
Oh, gosh.
Fuck
No,
that.
no, no.
There you go.
Yo, where's the
That's the
skull? The
thing.
skull on his
That's
shirt.
the future
Somebody
surgeon,
put the
bro.
skull on his shirt. He's wearing black already.
For real.
No,
I'm
that's
telling you, bro, that's
Take
what
off the
the
crown and
future
you're Sid
surgeon-
right now.
That's what I've heard is that, like, if you look at Sid, like, Sid isn't like just letting, like,
Oh, we were
I'm,
talking about it.
I'm bored of this toy, I want a new toy. No, Sid will make his own toys, and then he, like, career driven, like, he wants to be a doctor and an astronaut and, like,
Damn.
No.
an army
Look,
person.
Look,
that's
no,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying.
no, 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 no.
Sid can skate on grass. Did you guys
Bro.
notice that?
Yeah.
That dude deserves an
Yeah.
internship
Oh, and
somewhere.
then what's his reward
Tesla.
for being like this little badass punk kid?
Trauma.
Look,
I'm saying.
I'm going back to Gasper's point. Andy's mom. What? Look, a lot of people.
Smash.
A lot of people are saying,
next
like,
question.
I'm
the
gonna suck
question. The question throughout the series, at least when Andy's involved, is whatever happened to Andy's dad, right? The fact that
Woody.
well, that's an interesting
You
theory.
think Andy's ass is just for one guy?
No, that is an interesting theory. There's a theory that does.
Andy's mom. My bad.
Andy's ass is just for one guy.
Timestamp that, bro.
Andy's ass is just.
There's a theory that goes back to that Andy's dad gave him Woody, and that's why Woody means so much. You fucking gross bastard. You gross man. That's not funny.
I'm sorry, bro. Please don't change to me, bro. Just keep it on him.
It's
Anyways,
on you.
no, that is a
the
theory.
dad-
That's why that toy means so much to him, because his dad gave it to him before.
Is that why
died
he
before he left?
ignores it when Buzz comes?
Well, here's the thing, right? So one of the theories that I've pieced together, I don't even know if this is online or anything. I'm sure it is, but I've pieced together this, and Castro, you'll sympathize.
Let me see.
The fact that they're fucking moving tells you something. Okay?
Yeah.
They're going. His parents may have just gone through a divorce. So
I never
giving him Buzz on his birthday to make him forget about all the shit they're going through.
Even like the whole thing of like the mom saying like, or he's like, "Hey, can we leave these decorations up till my birthday?" And she's like, "Of course we can."
yeah,
Like, you know,
just kind of like
Dude, that explains why.
let me
taking him
you
the
to-
Pizza
no, no,
Planet.
no.
Yeah.
Pizza Planet.
Wait. He needs to pee. Can we let him out? Or-
Yes.
Go join
Yeah.
the camera. We give a,
If you guys got questions, don't be afraid to join me over
do you have
here.
a chair back
Me
there that
and
they can
Nomeo.
like sit on or?
Yeah. You wanna grab that guy right there?
Damn, this is so hard. So then,
Yeah, it's all low and shit.
Okay, so if Woody is the dad, does that mean that Buzz is the stepdad?
All right.
I don't know.
All right.
No,
I don't know.
Buzz is more the dad that stepped up.
But you know what?
That's good.
He's the cooler dad.
That's
yeah.
good.
I will say that there is a weird kind of like protection element to the toys, and like Andy, I think aside from like wanting to be his favorite, is very protective of like or Woody's very protective of Andy, like trying to make sure that all the toys follow the rules, and they do little safety meetings and drills.
Well, he's a little dictator in that.
No, but I mean
He's fucking, you're doing this, you're doing that.
But
And then
he's
Slinky's like
as
his-
much of a leader as he is, and the reason he gets annoyed when somebody takes the limelight is because I think he feels like I've worked harder than anybody else to try to make sure that his childhood's going correctly.
Yeah.
And like if you look at the later films,
I like that.
it's always that. It's always like, hey, what's best for Andy? And that's why the fourth one is so impactful. And I know that like not everybody wants it, but it's a whole thing of like, hey, Woody, you don't have to do that anymore. Now, what do you want to do?
Like
And
what happens? What happens when parents have an empty nest, right? You can't do if your kid goes to college or gets married or whatever, like. It's not your job anymore, man. Like you're always going to be a parent, you're always going to be there for them, but you also got to live your life. You still have a life to live post, parenting.
Yeah,
I mean, it is interesting. I will say this though: the Woody character, that's part of the reason that they went back and forth on the script so much because the initial drafts of Toy Story. Woody was a dick, yo.
I heard
he was like, he was just like an asshole character.
Was he like the same?
More than he kind of comes across. And
and you can look. There's animatics, and there's also like
where he's like
dialogue,
angry and
dialogue recorded where he's just an asshole, like to all the toys
Straight up.
and
I'm
everybody.
glad they didn't go that way.
No, they didn't. They rewrote it. They wanted to make him a likable character. They obviously saw the potential. And if you don't know this about Pixar, what part of the Pixar model is how does the person improve? That's it. I mean, which you would think any storyteller should try to finish an arc, right? But genuinely, any Pixar film will show you like how a character improves in a way, shape, or form. We talked about the arcs with Buzz becoming this like himself, right? Not having to put on a facade in the world. Woody drawing back his jealousy, seeing what's right for Andy, seeing what's right for like this moment and toys and who's important.
What about Dory?
Who the fuck is Dory?
Dory doesn't remember her fucking arc. Why should I?
I don't even fucking remember her arc, bro.
Just keep swimming, dude. I don't know. Fucking A.
What happened to they improve?
She does improve.
How does she improve?
Did you not see Finding Dory?
Yeah, but then I heard that
that
like
bitch.
Ellen DeGeneres was like a terrible person on set.
Dude, fucking Tim Allen got arrested for coke possession in the 80s. That doesn't change anything.
Santa Claus.
Tom Hanks. By the way, like Tom Hanks too. Tom Hanks
Got them Snow
recorded
Whites.
his lines in between A League of Their Own and Sleepless in Seattle. He didn't want to record lines while he was doing Forrest Gump and Castaway. Like he was like, I won't do it while I'm doing dramatic films. While I'm doing comedies, I will do the lines, but I don't want to take breaks on these dramatic roles.
Tom Hanks was
I get
cooking
it.
in the 90s.
Tom
Holy
Hanks was
shit,
doing his
what
fucking
the
thing, yo.
That's crazy.
And while we're on the topic, initially the role crazy. There's a couple things to note, and there's weird directions that this film was going to take in terms of the casting. Originally, they had offered the role of Woody to
Woody Harrelson.
No,
Matthew McConaughey.
to Mike Wazowski. Gosh, Billy Crystal.
Oh shit.
It was initially offered. Wait, it was initially offered to Billy Crystal because Billy Crystal was hot shit in the 80s and the 90s. And Pixar was this brand new company that nobody fucking knew. He was like, I don't think this thing's going to succeed, yo. I'm going to pass. And after it came out, he says this has been the biggest regret of his career. And since John Lasseter heard that he said that, when Mike Wazowski came around, he's like, yo, Billy Crystal says that his wife answered the phone. He's like, hello? Oh, yeah, let me go get him for you. Hey, it's John Lasseter on the phone. And the story goes that he gets the phone. Yes, whatever it is. If it's Pixar, I'll do it. Like, and,
He's like, you're getting audited.
Yeah, like, yes, whatever. Just fucking, here's my receipts. No, but he was basically saying, like, anything Pixar will do now, seeing how special this company is. The other casting thing that I thought was really interesting, I think we all would find fascinating, is they were going to cast two people as Woody and Buzz. Woody was going to be, you're going to love this. Woody was going to be played by Paul Newman.
Oh,
so if you guys know who Paul Newman is, if you know him in Pixar lore, he's Doc in Cars. But Paul Newman is a legend of the screen. You know, you go back and you see Paul Newman films, and he was a legend. He has his own pasta sauce.
It would have been different, but Tim Allen and
He does, dude. He has his own pasta company. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Really?
But yeah, he does actually. Like, you go to Walmart and buy a Paul Newman pasta. I'm not kidding. I do it
podcast
all
and
the
make some
time.
spaghetti.
Yeah, let's do it. But no, anyways, Paul Newman, legend of the screen, classic Hollywood person, right? So Paul Newman was going to be played Woody.
Who's
But
gonna be the other guy?
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was going to be playing Buzz. And here's why. Pixar wanted to do this take on
I don't think.
on old Hollywood and new Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
That was the play here, right?
So it's gonna be like a bigger
Buzz
commentary.
Yeah, bigger
Oh
commentary.
man, but then it would have made Buzz so goofy.
So goofy, yeah. But
Like
I mean,
the only-
obviously, they
like-
made the right choices. But
No, yeah, though Tom Hanks and Tim Allen just a perfect connection. Bro.
Like I really appreciated like how Tim Allen can have this like forceful authority
he
whenever
plays it straight.
Yeah, he plays it so
He's like
straight.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah,
He plays it straight, but he's fucking funny. You know?
yeah.
That's Tommy Lee Jones.
But then what is it called?
Tommy
Like
Lee
when
Jones just looks cranky.
but
24%
he's
of the
funny, but it's fucking funny.
I found him hilarious in No Country for Old Men.
time. Exactly, man. He's
No, but like, dude, like, fucking, why does Men in Black work so well? Because you have the goofball and you have the guy that plays it
yeah,
straight.
for sure.
Low-key,
Like it's Tommy Lee Jones. He's in fucking Batman for crying out loud. Like
Tommy
But you know about the backstory behind that one. He hated
I
Jim
can't
Carrey.
sanction your buffoonery.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the line. That's the line he gave Jim Carrey. I'm not
When they met
kidding.
at the restaurant for sure.
no, I
Anyways.
was gonna say like when you see Tim Allen go from the very stern and strict Buzz Lightyear to like when he realizes that his life's a sham and that whole breakdown.
Yeah.
And like I mean I feel like if they were directing Tim and really trying to get him there, they got him exactly where he needed to be.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, so that he could play that part well.
I
and
mean, what was the Santa Claus before Toy Story or after?
it was before
I mean, again,
What's the film called? The Santa film?
the
Santa
Santa
Claus?
Claus.
the Santa Claus.
Nah, they were like 90s, I think.
Yeah, they were about the same
I thought
time.
it was 91 that Santa Claus came.
Okay, I mean,
Does it? That feels old.
The Santa Claus came out in '94.
94,
I
so
was
right before
I was right. I said
Toy Story.
94. Everybody heard that.
Yo, not for nothing, but Tim Allen genuinely was trying to clean up his career. He
because of the
was a
whole
bad
cocaine?
boy in the 80s.
Damn.
I mean, I just said it. He literally got arrested for coke possession.
but I mean, he started doing Home Improvement.
No, yeah, he started doing Home Improvement. He started trying to rehab his image. So
Yeah.
that was kind of Pixar's, you know,
Buzz is a coke addict.
Buzz is a coke addict. Yeah, quite
Buzz
literally.
coke addict.
That's why he believes everything, bro.
No, but yeah, genuinely,
And he
like
turned the
I
kids-
think that the pairing works really well, and like not on those reasons, but the fact that Tim Allen could be even in the Santa Claus, he's a guy who kind of plays it straight, and he's fucking funny.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, like one of Sandra's
naturally-
favorite Christmas films is Christmas with the Cranks. He's
Yeah.
kind of playing it straight, and it's funny. You do need that kind of straight man for Buzz to be assertive and to be like, but it in turn versus a Woody or versus a Mr. Potato Head or whoever, like he's funny. It just comes across as
Yeah.
funny.
True.
Mr. Potato Head, man, we got to talk about the late great Don Rickles. Don Rickles is one of my top 5 favorite comedians of all time.
Same.
Like Don Rickles was the shit. And actually, it's funny. I was watching TCM a couple nights ago.
Oh, I thought you guys said the awards when he. Okay.
Oh no, dude! Anything Don
Yeah,
Rickles
yeah.
did, man. Any
I
crowd
just remember
work.
that a lot from him.
When he did like the AFI Scorsese, De Niro bits, like everything,
Yeah.
dude. Anything Don Rickles did was amazing. But no, he played a film, and it made me think about Toy Story a lot because he did a film with you'll like this guy with Tony Curtis
Oh, yeah.
and Debbie Reynolds. And man, gosh, the name is escaping me.
must be
This
old,
was
yeah.
in the 60s.
Yeah.
And who?
Debbie Reynolds, Tony Curtis, Don Rickles.
Tony Curtis is someone like it hot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then knocked me for a loop because I'm like, is that Tony Curtis?
The Rat Race.
The Rat Race. It's called The Rat
Oh,
Race.
yeah, yeah.
1970 or 60? 1970? I think?
Wait.
1960.
1960. It knocked me for a loop, dude, because I was just flipping through channels. I'm watching TCM, and I'm like, all right, it's Tony Curtis. Well, this might be interesting. And it was in color, which, again, this is 1960, so I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I keep watching, and then Debbie Reynolds shows up, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's Debbie Reynolds. That's fucking awesome. Fellow El Paso native, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I love Singing in the Rain and whatever, right? So it's like, that's awesome. It's Tony Curtis and Debbie Reynolds. All right, I'm going to stick around a little bit. I'm going to see this.
And what's up?
And then fucking Don Rickles pops out. But Don Rickles isn't playing a comedic role. He's playing the dick. He's playing the bad guy.
with no humor.
I
no,
mean,
That's
it's
Potato
maybe
Head.
funny because it's Don
Right,
Rickles,
yeah,
but
right.
he's playing a mob boss. He's playing a loan shark.
Yeah, apparently he was in Casino. as
Yeah,
He
well.
was in
that's-
Casino
yeah,
as
he
like
was
the,
the right man.
tough dude,
Yeah.
right? The serious dude. But you know why he was picked in Casino, right? I don't think we're going to talk about Casino on Scorsese month, so I'll just tell it really quick.
have no idea.
The reason he was picked in Casino is because Don Rickles used to perform for the mobsters in Vegas. So he knew those guys. So Scorsese would sit and chat with him about performing and being homies with those dudes.
Yeah.
Because he was also hanging out with Sinatra, with the Rat Pack.
you can see why he's got the confidence
And
now.
he's got the
He went up-
confidence. He'd go to these like when he does the AFI Scorsese thing. It's the best thing in the world because he's like, Marty, you get salutes from Gambino, Machado, Mafambo, like just making up Italian mobster names. And like he could do that shit. He could get away with making fun of mobsters in the '60s in Vegas.
It's just so beloved.
Because people loved him. He was the act to see. And in fact, Scorsese even pays homage to him in The Irishman. Don Rickles is played by this comedian, the bald dude. Oh gosh, what's his name?
The bald
An Irishman?
Bald, white-eyed dude
in the Irish.
in The Irishman. He's played by a comedian. Don Rickles is played by a comedian who's very famous. He comes out on the Louis show all the time. I forget his name.
I'm not even.
Well, the CK will look it
Yeah.
up. But anyways, Don Rickles, man, like Don Rickles comes to be
Top
this
5
this
for sure.
legend.
Jim Norton.
Jim Norton.
Oh.
Jim Norton plays Don Rickles in The Irishman.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, Scorsese was just like, dude, you know this world. Like, I just need you to stand there. And because Don Rickles used to act opposite fucking Clint Eastwood, man. Like, he knows how to act.
That's fucking crazy.
They were in a show, a military show.
Fun fact: Clint Eastwood, most overrated actor ever.
I agree.
Overrated actor?
Kelly Heroes.
Kelly's Heroes. Don Rickles and
Not to
Clint
say that
Eastwood
he doesn't have
starred
the movies.
in Kelly's Heroes, an army show.
Damn.
And that's when you see clips of like Don Rickles going to the Johnny Carson show just to talk shit. They were in the same sound stages.
Yeah.
The Johnny Carson show and Kelly's Heroes. So he would just pop over from the
Perfect.
sound stage.
I think I saw that one time Johnny Carson went over to Don Rickles' show.
Yeah.
And like interrupted him. And he was like, you guys don't get it. He does this shit all the time
Yeah,
with me.
yeah.
And he's always saying
Yeah.
stupid shit in the background, so I'm going to do to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best. But again, Don Rickles could do that shit, man. So to get Don Rickles and put him in a Pixar film, and by the way, I don't know how controversial you guys think this is or not, but Toy Story 4 was all lines from previous films that they just cut together. Don
Wow.
Rickles was already dead.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, that's
That's
true.
kinda
So they
like-
kind of like had to edit.
That was also around the time that the fucking Star Wars movie came out with Carrie Washington.
Carrie
Uh,
Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
and they
Underwood,
were-
yeah,
that was
yeah,
like
yeah,
becoming
yeah.
a
Yeah.
whole like post.
They
Well,
had
when
to-
people die, bringing them back to screen.
Everybody
Like, the
did that
whole
though.
thing.
I mean,
even
like
Tupac
they did it
with
with
the hologram.
Philip Seymour Hoffman for no, but they did it with Philip Seymour Hoffman
When?
in the,
Oh, yeah,
the
Hunger
Hunger
Games.
Games.
What?
R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That
Yeah,
was
I
his
love
last
that, bro.
role.
They did-
He
they
died
did-
during the making of that.
And they did like some type of CGI.
Well, not CGI necessarily, but they basically brought back
I'm
like
definitely gonna watch that now.
shit that, not outtakes, but they used some shit. They did
Yeah,
something.
they used like extra footage that they shot.
And then they try
To,
to
like,
like
incorporate
blend it
them
in.
in.
Yeah, but so basically, with Don Rickles, they did the same thing for Toy Story 4. He had recorded some lines because they knew he was getting older, but they basically got unused outtakes from Toy Stories 1 through 3 and
Those were the ones that
all
worked.
of the shit on Disney Plus.
What was in the air in 2019? Like people just dying and studios are calling it.
Yeah. But again, I
They knew
think that's
2020 was
that's
gonna
so,
come,
so
bro.
important to note right now because I think that fueled the conversation of like, we got these people's likeness. We own their voice. Could we just reuse it as many times as we want to? You guys
That's what
know
we're
that Toy
facing
Story
nowadays.
5 is going to be released, right? They've announced Toy Story
I'm gonna
5
have to watch 4 now.
at
Damn it.
D23. D23, they announced that Toy Story 5 is in production.
Yeah, for sure.
What does that mean for guys like Mr. Potato Head, where Don Rickles has been dead for how many years now? 5, maybe?
Well, look, remember that?
And Tim Allen.
Well, remember, no,
Tim
remember,
Allen's not dead.
Isn't he?
remember they did the
I don't think so.
Oh,
well, they did the new Buzz Lightyear, the Buzz One or whatever.
Lightyear.
Yeah.
It's called
Different
Lightyear.
characters. Chris Evans.
Oh, that's right. They
So they'll-
they voiced. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sometimes things
Oh,
have to
Buzz
change.
Lightyear of
Yeah.
Star
But I'm with you.
Yeah.
He's the
I
actor
didn't get to see that
portraying-
one.
I
You haven't-
don't feel a different way about it because like at first
Oh, there's
I
no
understand
meaning.
what it's fueling. I understand what it's fueling this AI conversation, right? But
It's
at
very
the
big right
time, it was heartwarming because you're basically immortalizing somebody like Don Rickles,
Like Paul Walker as well.
like Paul Walker, right? You're immortalizing them. I don't know. That's for me. I respect that. For me, it's like
Look,
they
it's
could
way
have just
better
cut
than
out the
what-
character.
It's
They
way
could.
better than what they did in The Irishman. No, that's,
Oh,
Damn. Have you seen all like
Boom, boom, boom.
the Independence people that have actually like gone and face swapped it and it looks like a million times better?
yeah, dude.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
some other like outsourced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
They go hard. They go hard.
ILM, man. Pablo Helms.
Talking about Mr. Potato Head.
Nerd.
I think he was the most pettiest fucking toy.
Yo,
Dude.
people were saying, like,
That
people were
dude was
commenting on
petty.
how, like, I mean, the whole point of this film is Woody being jealous of Buzz, but they don't address the fact that Mr. Potato Head's jealous of Woody.
He fucking
Yeah.
hates
Oh,
Woody.
he fucking hates Woody.
He fucking
Like, he got his
Oh,
revenge.
man.
He was just waiting for him to fuck up at some point. You
I
know?
know,
It's funny
really
because
acknowledging this.
I think like when Mr. Potato Head's like making that comment of like, oh, what's that, RC? And RC's just doing.
It was him!
He pushed him. Thank you. That's when it came into my head. Like, yo, this guy.
And I'm pretty sure everybody's just like, oh, you read tires? And it's like, oh, yeah, hey, boo this man. And then,
But that was the whole
man,
thing,
that's
right? It's
perfect.
like because of his jealousy.
Yeah.
This brings this conversation of like, well, he even says the line. He's like, well, what's gonna happen if Andy favors me? Like, are you gonna throw me out the window too?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't know. He must have had his character had that like so like disgruntled
Yeah.
in him. You know, he was such a
Right.
disgruntled character of like.
I guess that's
fuck
why they
this
gave
guy.
him Miss Potato Head at the end. You know, so he could get his.
Yeah, plus he needed to
get his
get laid,
potato
bro.
on.
I will
Over
say
the
though,
way.
Get
like
those smashed potatoes.
there's a couple things to note, and that's why I brought up Don Rickles. The fact that, like, that's probably my favorite line in Toy Story is like, hey, look at me, I'm Picasso. It's like, Picasso, what? Who? You uncultured swine. I love it. I love it so much.
Turns into a pig, yeah.
And then when that same moment, you were asking me, this is what happens. You were asking me, because he says, oh, what are you looking at, hockey puck? And you were like, what's the joke there?
Yeah.
It's an actual hockey puck. That was a famous line from Don Rickles. He would use that. Like, what are you looking at, hockey puck?
Those are the little Easter eggs I love.
It was
bro.
Don Rickles' like line that they decided to kind of bring back just to make fun of like when a human is calling somebody else that.
Yeah.
It's for a reason. They're big or they're round or whatever. Right? They're short. In this case, it was an actual fucking hockey
Wow.
puck. So it's just Don Rickles' line kind
Oh,
of
that's lovely.
fitting.
It's
Lovely.
perfect.
Low
bro.
key.
well, like
so good.
these guys brought up like in Sid's room, the like long pair of legs and the fishing pole, and they're like, oh, the hooker. And to me, the light bulb
I just
moment
didn't
of
understand the
like,
background of
that's
that.
why they look like that. Like,
Do you guys see how? And then well, I don't care bringing this back. I'll fight you, Castro.
Let's get it.
You guys see how Pixar can do very minuscule, classy things like that and not have to be so edgy about it? You're still making the quote unquote jokes for the adults,
Yeah, I caught a couple that I hadn't.
you know,
caught.
like, but they're not overbearing with it. They're just kind of, you know, we're gonna sprinkle some in there, get some laughs from the parents.
Was this PG or PG-13?
No,
PG,
it's
right?
PG.
This one was G.
Was it actually G?
This is G rated.
Wow, that's impressive.
Because
It's because those.
they're toys, and then all the actions that they do
Yeah.
are very like gentle. Like the most obscene thing is
Like
when Mr. Potato Head like gets like pulls off his mouth and starts like doing the whole kiss ass thing. But he's
so
like
good, dude. I love
he's
it.
a potato, so like it's so under the radar. No kid's gonna understand that yet. So like, you know,
I really wish, because of how many rockets there was in this fucking film, that they would have used Don Rickles as like, what do you want me to do? Pull down my pants and fire a rocket?
Oh, what the fuck?
It would have been yes. That's great. That would have been perfect.
They
No,
would have gotten
but
PG.
here I'm gonna bring it back to something we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got into Don Rickles and everything else. You were bringing up story. We were talking about earlier just how confusing it was, the whole like structures and everything. Not confusing in a bad way, but more
not a traditional
yeah.
3-act structure
I-
necessarily.
like a lot of the lens I use when watching films is I'll look at like the hero's journey, and I'm trying to pinpoint those little moments because if you use that lens for a lot of
Oh, I'm
films,
sorry.
you'll
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
We
for
still
that.
accept
We
you.
still love you.
what?
It's all right, man.
It's okay. Now we
When
should
in-
all say
what's
something that we
wrong?
like
When in 30
about
men.
Michael.
1 in 30 men. happen.
1 in 30 men. What the hell?
You know what you do, right? You learn it.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
learn it, you memorize it, and then
Yeah.
you say, to hell with it.
No. But so many
Yeah.
films do it still.
I know, and that's why we feel formulaic shit happening.
No, I know, but I'm saying like especially like it works really well in like kids films. Like no knock to kids films. What?
We were just praising high praise for the story that is Toy Story.
I try not
And
to
you're
cough
over
on
here
the mic, I
like,
coughed on him.
but that was cute.
No. But I mean, like, I just feel like I'm not saying that it's
What are you saying, bro?
like wait 5 damn minutes, like. No, I just felt like when I was looking at it through that lens to try to see if it fits into that mold.
Right.
And this is where I'm getting at.
You're still not getting there.
No, like what I was getting at is when you put that like the mold there and try to see if it fits, it doesn't, because
Right.
a lot of those like tricks and turns of like the whole moment of like usually you'll see in stories, and a lot of like I've seen it a ton in Pixar films, Pixar, but
Pixar.
like I've seen it where there's that moment that they think they're at the end of the journey. They're about to cross the finish line, and then something twists, and then they're back to square one. It feels like all hope's lost. But with like this film, I felt like there was so many moments that kept doing that.
But look, that's what's interesting. Isn't that what we all love about like Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
That we know they're going to be thrown into the fucking furnace. That's the end for these characters that we love. They're dead. This is how we end. Is this really how we fucking end? And then it turns off. They're saved. They can continue their journey. Like what, you guys haven't seen Toy Story 3? I'm sorry, bro. It's been out for 10 years. I'm not even gonna apologize there.
Did you see the guy? Did you see the guy who was showing Toy Story 3 to his wife for the first time, but he edited the movie that it fades to black,
It fades to black, yeah.
right as they're going to the furnace, and then it rolls credits, and then he showed that copy to his wife, and she's like, "That's how it ends? Like, that's awful. What do you mean?" And it's the greatest thing ever. Like, if I ever have kids,
I'm gonna do that too, bro.
that's how they're getting it. I'm like, guys,
I'm
I'm sorry for people who are listening in and like
I'm ready.
applauding us for the first half of this podcast. I'm like, yeah, these guys get it. Pixar opens the imagination of a child, and then you want to do that to your child.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
fuck them kids, they die.
I wanna
Fuck
be
off.
like, whoa,
these toys.
look, like, on the first one, oh, the toys become friends. Oh, they gain more friends. Then they die. And it's
And
like,
then,
I want that to
and
be
then
the...
that's not, that Gosser's gonna do the same thing. He's like, there ain't no Toy Story 4 kids. Fuck off.
Yeah.
We're done. This is what.
But they see the trailer for Toy Story 6 and get cheated.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so funny.
El fin of Toy Story 4.
Anyways, no, but the law's got a point, right? It doesn't fit the mold of a traditional hero's journey. It does in a lot of ways. There's a lot of adventurous kind of factors that play into this. I liken. You guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but I liken Toy Story to like
You already do, brother.
Indiana Jones. Like I liken it to the adventure of an Indiana
that's
Jones
interesting,
film.
yeah.
Through
got a reference.
All the Pixar movies have that. Like, even thinking
Yes.
about what you just said, Soul is the same exact thing. Where every single fucking scene, he's just about to get the concert,
Yeah.
and then he fucking dies.
Well, like in this one, it's from the get-go. It's the whole...
What does the character want? I mean,
Yeah.
where does it?
Yeah, well, like
The
the whole... They get kicked out the window, which to the toys feels like all hope's lost. And then when they're at the gas station, I just don't remember it feeling as helpless as I do now for some reason. Like when they're at the gas station and they're gone. There's no
Yeah,
coming back.
I
Like
thought-
we're lost toys. And I remember as a child, because I had seen it so many times, it was like, yeah, but let me fast forward and you'll be fine. Like I don't know, I didn't connect the dots of the story. But
This
then
is
like
why our generation suffers from
Yes,
anxiety. This is fucking.
Oh,
no,
I've seen
and then
this.
I like watched it this time and I was like, wow. Like if I stopped here,
Yeah.
they're lost.
Yeah,
And then
I gotta
went
tell you,
to
I had the
that.
same feeling.
And then later on,
I was
it's like, oh, they're so close to getting into that little cart, and then they'll go home. But no, Buzz
Yeah.
has to go into the freaking claw machine. I'm like, oh no, they're lost again.
But
and
that's
then like,
story. That's the adventure factor.
and then Sid
Yeah.
gets them, and they're lost again.
Yes.
And it's just so many
But
ways
that's
that
the
they
adventure. I'm sorry that you feel beaten up after a Pixar film, but
Yeah,
that's
brother.
that's the adventure. That's the we praise these magnum opuses
Yeah,
and these
remind-
I
epics.
show you
didn't
Bambi,
ask
bro.
for that Pixar.
This
That's
is
what-
Michael's Schindler's List.
Yeah, seriously. But this is why I appreciate. Like I've said this time and time again. I personally think Toy Story 2 is better. I love Toy Story 2.
Are we gonna have to move the furniture around?
We gotta
Are
fuck
we gonna
around.
have to take off our feet?
Personally,
But listen-
Take off our feet.
I think Shrek 2 is better.
I agree. Not better than Toy Story 2,
you guys
but it
are
is
off the perk.
Huh?
off the perk.
Both of you guys are off the perk. Shrek 1 is better. Shrek 2 is decent.
Look, man, just because you lived in Hollywood for
You
X
can't
amount of
fuck
years
with the
and it's
original.
ruined for you doesn't mean that's the case for anybody else, CK.
Nah, it's just they got creative with the storytelling, with like the
For
way
sure.
they told the story.
What are you
But
talking about?
The story structure
Everything.
was just not like it was.
Bro,
it was
just
decent.
The
everything-
Fairly
It was
Godmother
decent.
going in and breaking in for the fucking
Everything is just
potions.
thrown
But it was
together.
It was predictable. Shrek 2 was predictable.
Whereas the first one, Shrek, is literally a fairy tale at start.
Yes.
It was
The
just thrown in
frog,
there.
you predicted the fucking dad being the frog? Bullshit!
That was the
Bullshit!
only thing that wasn't
I call
predictable.
bullshit!
I called that shit in 2
I
minutes
couldn't
in,
even
bro.
tell the fucking kid's one was gonna be a hammer.
Anyways, Toy Story 2 is better.
Comment if you guys think Toy Story 2 is better.
Look, no, but we were talking about. Let's. I want to focus on this point. Later, homie. I want to come on this point because that sense of like helplessness, I think they found a better way to do that as the sequels went on for Toy Story.
Yes.
Because,
It gets more and more helpful.
bro, the fact that he's like replaced and you think that he's gonna be sold off to Japan and he's fixed and he feels renewed.
But see,
And
Yeah,
then
but
you
the
get
Jesse's-
wait,
But
and
then you see
you
the
get
women in Japan and you feel better.
and then you get Jesse's story.
emphasize that part.
And then you get Jesse's
monologue,
origin
the
story.
fucking-
It breaks your heart 10 times over.
But
you know which one?
It's not a kid story anymore. Well, it is a kid story, but it's just a blown up. Like whereas
No,
the first
dude,
one,
because
it's-
that's
it's
what
a
happened.
You know what was the
gentle
real
way to-
tragedy of Toy Story 2? Young Wheezy, dude. On
Young
the show.
Weezy. Yo, he was supposed to be in this one, by the way. He got cut out.
Really?
They cut him out of early drafts of Toy Story, and they were like, we'll use him somewhere else. And then Toy Story 2 came around. They're like, fuck it, we can use Wheezy now.
Damn, dude, fucking Wheezy.
Yeah, but no, look, I see what you're saying, but you know what I
Cut
like?
that.
I like the idea of like, for instance, like John Mayer has this thing where he's like, I want my, and this was when he was out making his first record. He was like, I want my audiences to grow up with me. I want to be like appealing to the 23, 24, 25-year-olds. And then in 20 years, see 40, 45-year-olds in the audience. Like, I want them to grow up with me. And I think that's what happens with like
All right.
the generational kind of defining animated film. You grow up with the series. So by the time you're watching Toy Story 2 and you're
good.
like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what happened to that toy I used to love? I forgot it. My mom
respect
donated.
that,
What the
yeah.
fuck happened?
Oh no, dude! Like
You're
I,
connecting with it.
Yeah,
I felt like
that's good.
so much more weight when I
Yes.
saw Toy Story 4
Yes.
because of where I was in life.
Yeah.
And like I mean,
bullshitting, bro.
no, it's just it's amazing that these people have taken care of this intellectual property
Yeah.
long enough to let it mature the way people have matured with it.
You're going to tell me that you feel no empathy for Lotso when you see his origin story?
No,
Bro,
I'm not saying I
broke
don't
my
like it.
fucking heart.
Dude, that fucking monkey. Fuck that monkey.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
fuck
Lotso,
monkeys.
he's like abandoned at a rest stop or whatever. Like he's like going after looking for his kid and shit. Like, oh my gosh, man.
we got a question over here.
What up?
Hey guys, I'm back.
What's up, Playboy?
So
What it do, baby?
pretty much, so pretty much a question that I have, or more like maybe like a point of reflection, is that it's very impressive how Pixar started everything off with 3D animation, and then you see up until now, 2025, how these animated films are still breaking boundaries.
Okay,
But
give
it-
us an example. What do you think like might be a?
Obviously, into the Spider-Verse.
Oh sure, yeah.
Into the, like if you think about it in retrospective, if it wasn't for Toy Story
Yeah.
walking, freaking Spider-Verse wouldn't have been like this interesting visual.
Oh no, and I mean something like Into the Spider-Verse, and we talked a while back about like Klaus, is that because of 3D animation, they were able to blend techniques into 2D animation,
Yeah.
and that's where you get like Spider-Verse's interesting characters and style. Like the character of Spider-Punk, my girlfriend tells me that when she looked into it, that character took a year alone to animate. Like it had its own department to animate Spider-Punk because of how complicated he was with these different graphics coming in every time to make a certain frame rate. Like he was super, super dynamic, but also could play into the 3D space. And I mean, it really is that by this film coming out and establishing what 3D was, what it could be capable of, then later on they expanded and they've made so much more after it, you know?
Yeah, and another thing is that pretty much everyone's just like right now the whole joke on Pixar is that they're just throwing shade at Pixar because many of their animated films aren't hitting as they used to.
I mean, I blame streaming for that. I blame Disney Plus for that. Because you're just oversaturating the market. Now they need content. So then you get films like fucking Turning Red. Or whatever.
No, but I mean, like, you also get films like Elemental. And
I liked Elemental.
Yeah.
A lot. I thought it was pretty good.
I also feel like there's a balance between you'll get the Toy Story 4s and Soul that I think are definitely batting for a higher audience or an older audience.
Yeah,
and then you'll get films like Turning Red that is going to connect more with the younger generation. Like I watched the original Inside Out, and then I watched Inside Out 2, and Inside Out 2, it had a lot more maturity to it.
You're growing with the IP.
Yeah, because if you look at like those two, you know, one's like, oh, we have emotions, but it's okay for something to have like two emotions.
Yeah.
But then in the second one, it's like, oh, but anxiety is gonna be anxiety always, and how do you navigate getting older? And it's almost like they're saying like, okay, we've already cradled one generation out. Now it's time to cradle this current generation. And you get a weird blend with like their films. Not all of them will hit, but I also think not all of them are meant for us, you know?
The weird part about Pixar is, I mean, our generation, I think, I've always thought of them as kind of the reigning kings when it came to mature storytelling and 3D animation. But again, the content era comes out, and you start seeing them slipping. And don't get me wrong, not every Pixar's hit, just in terms of good storytelling. I mean, I talk a lot about like Cars 2. Yeah, welcome back. I talk a lot about like Cars 2. I talk a lot about like some of the sequels that we don't really love.
Like Planes.
Planes was not Pixar. The last fucking time. Planes was not Pixar. It was
what about Rescue Patrol?
Definitely not Pixar.
Paw Patrol?
You're slipping, bro.
You're slipping.
What else did Pixar not do?
Just to finish my point real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Also, like I said, like Pixar's getting this hate because of their new animated movies. But if you think about it, their main, they're all a long-time rival. We could say DreamWorks. They have been pulling out some interesting movies, like for example, The Wild Robot. That it is a kid story, but it also has the whole main thing is like, hey, this is parenting.
Was The Wild Robot Pixar? I mean, DreamWorks?
No, I think it was DreamWorks, yeah.
I thought it was independent.
No, it's DreamWorks.
Really?
DreamWorks. So it kind of goes full circle with the Shrek thing. That it's like their competitor was Shrek.
Yeah.
DreamWorks was pretty much like to fight against Pixar.
There's a good version of that, right? Like we talked about how the unfortunate rivalry of Pixar and DreamWorks in the past. Well, you have Shrek making fun of Disney and Pixar.
Yeah.
But you also have. We wouldn't have Ants if we didn't have Bug's Life. We wouldn't have Shark Tale if we didn't have Finding Nemo. Like that healthy competition kept them rocking. Like they were competing with good films.
Those are films that Pixar influenced.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say this. I had to fact check it. Planes is a Pixar feature.
no way.
It's a Disney Pixar feature.
Are you sure?
Yeah, what's it like being wrong?
Again.
You know what that's like.
Yeah. Not on this episode though.
Not in this episode. Wow, it wasn't marketed at all as a Pixar film.
Yeah, it was.
It sucked.
Because it sucked.
They fucking hated it, dude.
I'm sure. I didn't even watch
Cars
it.
with planes. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be the world of Cars. That's why it was like.
That's pretty lame.
Exactly.
I'll tell you one thing. They've abandoned it entirely. You go to any Disney property, Planes is not in the conversation ever.
Just Cars, bro.
They're like, fuck that movie.
Yeah.
No, and then
Same with the
they
Good
tried
Dinosaur.
to save it with like Rescue Squad or something.
Is it a
Rescue
show
PD.
or what is it?
No, it
Rescue
was
PD.
another movie. It was like
Maybe Planes was intended for like a younger generation. You guys remember like the train, Thomas the Train?
Oh,
and how
the
they had like
Shuggington?
they had
The
planes
Dank
and they
engine?
had like maybe
Fucking
they try to
loved
it.
appeal to a younger generation. I don't know.
Dude, we had Thomas the Dank Engine where somebody memed the fuck out of that whole thing.
Dude, I was watching Dragon Ball Z, bro.
Anyways, I hope your kid's not watching this episode. I don't know. This is not a podcast meant for kids,
the
even when we're
Train.
talking about.
We're gonna market the
animated
fuck
film.
out of it to Toy Story.
Bringing it back to Toy Story.
bringing it back a little bit. Mind if I add something?
Yeah, do your thing, Playboy.
Okay.
Just tread lightly.
Thank you for doing nothing, Michael.
That's his thing. That's
thing.
really
Can
his thing.
I do my special trick and then just kind of zone out, you know? Only when I'm high. No, I was going to say that on a cinematography front,
Nice socks, bro.
yeah, they're Planet Express socks.
Are they actually?
They are. Wait.
And you're barely busting those out right now?
Yeah, if I
Hey, take your
busted,
shoes off.
I will. I'll
Do
show
it.
off my little piggies.
Do
Wait.
it.
Dude, that's feet after night, bro.
They are Planet Express socks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're wearing the fucking jacket. You're Leela. That's what you are. You're Leela.
You're a phony.
Look at him.
I actually have my other one, like the one with the patch on the side.
Yeah.
In the car, but
Dude,
no.
I don't know why. I just mixed Planet Express with Pizza Planet. I was like, no way. It's only
It's
All
hard.
right, CK, you need to take a break.
I'm
You need
off
to-
Yeah,
the perk
man.
right now. Okay.
You're working on too
What I was
many,
gonna say-
too many monitors.
on a camera front, which is interesting for an animated film. This is the first time, they've done their shorts, but this is also the first time an animated feature film has had this camera.
Sure.
Because usually when you're animating, you'll create the world and you'll create like little characters and the way they move around, but you have full control over the camera movement,
Right.
and like the perspective of the lens. And I've played with it just a little bit, but it really does operate like a camera. You can get those like millimeters and aspect ratios and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So they play a lot into framing here. What's really cool to just show you that they're treating it like a regular movie, not just an animated film,
Yeah.
is at the very beginning, there's a moment where they're panicking. And it's not like they had the best control over it, but they did have a lot of intentionality. When the toys are freaking out, there's a top-down view of them.
It's
and
a
it's
small-
it's a handheld shot, which is really, really cool.
Well, even when Sid is like, he wakes up and he's like ready to take the fucking rocket, and he was looking for Woody, and
Yeah.
he lifts the milk crate.
Yeah.
And Woody's like, but they flipped the camera and like this like,
Yeah.
we're here, and then once we see Woody at the top, we do this with
Yeah.
the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
it's the coolest
it's
thing.
interesting because there's no operator, but they're using the filmmaker
Yeah.
techniques. They're not just saying like with other animated films, oh, it's this one still, and then it's
Yeah.
going to transition to this thing, and you're just using these little squares. And
Yeah.
how do I walk in a linear path? I think of like the Scooby-Doo effect, where it's just like these solid characters going from left to right,
the
and that's
background.
how they
I'm
exist.
willing to bet that like animation or 3D animation specifically ruined
Cinematography.
ruined DPs in the sense that like a DP's like, I wanted to do this, and then it's like, we can't, dude. This isn't a 3D animated film. Like, we live in the real world. We cannot go through the keyhole for your fucking thing or what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to bet because of how creative they get, they can do things with camera that we just in the physical space can't.
Yeah, there's a
I feel
limit.
like
There's
this
a
also
limit.
was like the birth that as animation got better and more realistic, then that's when you start to see the transition of blending in CGI into your films, where it's
Yeah.
a live action film, but now the animation blends
Yeah.
with the real world, as opposed to like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where
Right.
it's just
That's a
an
good one.
addition on top of the real world.
You know, for Toy Story, they did have their limitations. We have to note that like this was again an inception of things. For instance, there's a couple things to note with Toy Story. One of them, even on the kind of physics, there's a reason why the women in this film, the little girls, have short hair, and Andy's mom, the only person with long hair, wears it in a ponytail.
Hell yeah.
Is because they couldn't quite
They couldn't animate hair yet.
They couldn't animate hair yet. They couldn't get the bounce right.
fact.
All that great.
That's
well,
still
I
in-
think you might have said it last time, but the
in
first
video
time that
games
they were
kinda
able to
right now.
animate hair
Getting better.
Monsters Inc.
was in Monsters Inc.
Yes.
With the Sully character that they finally could animate realistic looking like individual hairs on a character, because before that,
Yeah, so
it was,
that's why
polygons.
Toy Story has that. And don't get me wrong, they did some really cool shit. What I caught in this screening a lot was reflections. Man, could they
wow, dude.
animate reflections well? Like Buzz's helmet and shit like that.
yeah.
Dude, his
And-
introduction, like
yes.
his POV shot where you literally see his
The
eyes.
monolith?
Yeah, the fucking monolith.
Yeah, you did tell me that. It is a good one.
I mean, it's impressive, dude. But again,
2001
like the
Space Odyssey.
limitations do come with that, right? The hair thing. The other thing is when you see Andy's little fucking friends running around, they're just a bunch of Andys. They just change their hair and clothes.
Yeah.
The face is the same.
Yeah.
It was
That's
the
why they
same
kept it,
kid
like,
12
low.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice that when they enter Pizza Planet and like the robots are opening and closing the doors, if you look at the windows, the people that are eating are just still.
They're just standing there.
Yeah.
There's just
Really?
Q-tips like in fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. The other thing too is that when it comes to their limitations, there's a reason why what do they call it? The combat Carl,
Oh
the
yeah.
ripoff of GI Joe.
yeah.
They couldn't get GI Joe to license GI Joe because GI Joe's like, who the fuck are you again? So
Combat car.
same thing, by the way. Barbie was supposed to save the day in Toy Story. Mattel was like, who the fuck are you? No, we don't want you to use our shit.
I love
bet they
the
regret that.
little nod of like, like I think Rex says like, oh, I'm from Mattel. Well, I'm not Mattel. Like Mattel like bought out the whole
Exactly. Because
And I'm
Mattel
more
was
of like a
like,
third party.
As a kid,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
like
what?
yeah, exactly. But like that's why in Toy Story 2 they're like, all right, we're sorry, use all of it, and then Al's toy barn can be shot
hell
the
yeah.
right way because you have the Barbie world and shit. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the limitations came from like the Combat Carl. That's why you don't see that little fucker explode. We pan away because they couldn't figure out explosions in animation yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it
Or
was
3D
hilarious.
animation.
I loved how like if you think about it in physics, the little shit fucking explodes.
You guys were all saying that. The window.
It explodes and then all the body parts are like hitting the window, but nowhere else.
I kept anytime you guys were bringing up like logistics, I kept wanting to turn to you guys and say, it's a fucking cartoon. Leave it alone. It's not trying to. It's trying to be funny. It's like it's a cartoon.
Yeah, like I thought it was weird how a piggy bank can move its head. No, it's like,
You don't. Yeah. You don't go to Looney Tunes when Daffy Duck. What the fuck? Daffy Duck. Duffy Duck.
Daffy Duck.
It's Mattel. I can't use the real name. It's Warner Brothers. No, Daffy Duck blows up his fucking mouth and it turns this way with a shotgun, and then
yeah.
like the next frame he's okay. Like it's a cartoon. Let it be a cartoon.
What got me was when he starts flying with the wings. Like, I'm not flying.
oh, he
I'm
mentioned
falling
that
in
like
style.
at the very end, like when he hits the button and his wings go out and then it cuts off the rocket. It's like,
Yeah.
you could do that the whole time.
You could have done that the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time we're freaking out. You could have just been like,
And these were questions
Done,
I was
you
asking
know?
when I was a kid, bro.
It was, but again, it's the thing, right? It's like
Yeah.
we need to allow animation to be animation, right?
yeah.
Allow yourself to.
You call it movie magic.
Right.
Because another thing, like
You gotta get lost in the
Slinky
fantasy.
just got stretched the fuck out.
then he's fine.
He doesn't
Dude,
heal.
poor Slinky.
What the hell?
Oh, we were talking about that. What we're talking about the guy Jim Varney.
Jim Morrison.
Yeah, he's known for Ernest, goes to jail, Ernest goes on.
Hot
vacation.
take. I've never seen any of the Ernie films.
They're kind of annoying.
I bet. You know,
But I grew up with him, and then you start understanding who the actor is, and he's a great actor. He's a voice actor. He was, obviously a voice actor, but
I just remember the Pixar or like the Disney community
trying to
mourning him
think of-
when he died because of Slinky.
yeah.
Because there's literally a ride at Disneyland. It's one of the most popular rides is the Slinky.
he was
ride.
Slinky.
Yeah, when did he die? Which
It
movie?
was rather like around Toy Story 3, right after Toy Story 3,
see, I
because Toy Story 4 you don't get Slinky. Slinky's not in Toy Story 4.
That's why
I
I'm
did
not watching
notice
it.
Right?
that. Yeah.
I'm fairly
another
sure
reason
that
I'm not
Slinky's
watching
not in there.
I think you're right because I know in Toy Story 4 they had transitioned to that little girl's house and like not all the
Bonnie's.
toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's true. Wait, we don't get Slinky in Toy Story 3, do we?
we do.
Yeah.
Let me fact check.
I don't remember Slinky in
I
Toy
bet you
Story
they
3.
did the
Maybe
same
he had
thing.
already died and they were just using like no voice
I
or
bet you
something.
They're doing something or
I don't know.
fast.
Yeah, I just remember it was a really, really sad day when he passed away. Like people were like,
I just grew up with
So-
him. I just remember like seeing his movies, like Ernest
Yeah.
goes to jail.
Apparently,
They're kind of annoying, but I grew up with him.
Apparently, Slinky Dog appears in Toy Story 3 and is voiced by Blake Clark, who took over the role after Jim Varney's death.
oh, see, okay. So
See, they do replace
kind of the
people
thing.
then. So Mr. Potato is probably gonna.
Hey, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, Disney's got to make a check,
But you know what? I think since the whole AI thing, I think they're gonna be able to figure out how to mimic.
With Jim Varney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they maintain some of that. Again, you see what I mean? There could be good use
could be
to
good
it.
for AI,
you
yeah.
can enhance certain things. I don't know. I think we all agree that we wouldn't want Toy Story to continue, but I could be wrong here. If I'm not mistaken, Toy Story 5 is going to be taken over by Pete Docter.
Okay. You're gonna have to spoil it for. Oh, do y'all want to spoil it? How does it end?
What?
How does 4 end?
You want to know how 4 ends?
I kind of.
I'll tell you. I'll break it.
Have you seen Spielberg's AI?
Yeah.
That's how it ends. Right? Am I wrong or what? AI, artificial intelligence, the Spielberg Kubrick film.
Yeah.
Where the fucking weirdos and the kid just fuck off and go into the wilderness and just do their thing. That's kind of what happens in Toy Story 4, dude.
You know what to tell you?
They no. Don't they commit to like a carnival?
That's
Where he
why they
has to
just
stay?
go into the wilderness and just
Like, they get lost in the carnival and stuff like that, and then the whole entire thing is like, oh, we need to go, but. If I remember right,
they're kind of
Woody-
like, well, some of them do. Woody
Yeah,
stays.
exactly.
Woody and Bo Peep stay.
Woody and Bo Peep are the ones.
Buzz
that are
and the
kinda
other
like,
toys go back to Bonnie.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah,
They
no,
don't stick together?
that's
It's-
the thing.
yeah.
It's Buzz accepting that it's like he wants to stay there protecting Bonnie because he's now accepted the full responsibility of
Yes.
the toy being there for their child. But Woody,
Woody got to see that through with Andy for college. But
Yeah.
Buzz was on the newer tip, right? So he still had some more life in him to be there for their kid.
yeah, he has energy. So with Woody, he just kind of feels like Woody's never acted for Woody's sake.
Yeah.
and
He's
then
always looked out for everybody
Bo
else.
Peep was like, Woody, like you already did your thing. Like
Yeah.
there's your life to live. So then he goes on a new life where he's with Bo Peep rescuing lost toys.
Yes.
Oh, also,
Broken toys. They go into like what is
I'm
the
not
shop
mad at
called?
it.
It's
I'm
like
not mad,
an
I
antique
guess.
shop.
yeah.
That sequence is great, by the way, in Toy Story 4. That in terms of cinematography and storytelling,
Oh, yeah.
the sequence of the antique shop. And by the way, Woody was initially supposed to be a ventriloquist dummy. So they used that in Toy Story 4. The ventriloquist dummy plays a bigger role.
That's freaky as
He w-
fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they changed
What kind
it.
of kid
I
has a
think
ventriloquist
that
dummy
Yeah.
just chilling?
Yeah. But no, I do like that about Toy Story. Also haven't seen Toy Story 4 since I saw it in the theaters when it came out. I should rewatch it.
Same.
Oh,
I
also,
do have some good
Yeah.
news for Toy Story 5.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be directed by. It's not going to be directed by Pete Docter. Instead, it's going to be Andrew Stanton,
Oh, great. Okay.
who is
Wally.
known for Finding Nemo and Wally.
Wally. He directed
is
Wally.
still
Perfect.
one-
Perfect.
exactly.
He's one of the founding members of Pixar, Andrew Stanton.
Okay.
He
So,
kind of
hey,
walked away
going
from
back
Pixar
to
for a little
the-
while.
to
He
the
was kind of just
founders.
hanging out.
It might still be a banger. Who
Yeah,
knows?
Andrew
Wally
Stanton. Yeah, dude.
on
Fuck yeah.
Criterion,
I'm down for that.
Wally's good. He's wanting to touch on Wally for a while.
You
Yeah.
wanted to touch Wally.
I want to touch Wally. Like,
In any which
I
way.
want to know
Sexy
what
ass robot.
Yeah.
Feel it out.
like the
grease
square.
it up.
I love Wally, man. Fun fact: I was going to pick Wally before I kind of give up my pick.
Don't you
for-
be lying, Craig.
I was genuinely. I was between Wally or Ratatouille for me.
Rat Patootie.
Ratatouille.
Good old Rapatootie.
Yo, Rat Patootie.
Yeah, that one hit me a little bit harder than
I'm
the
down for Andrew Stanton, man. I'm so down. Pete Docter, by the way, who directed Up and one of the founding members of Pixar, he took over Pixar. He kind of like,
Fuck yeah.
I want to say he almost saved it after John Lasseter left. Because once he became the head honcho at Pixar,
He started releasing like Up and
some change. Well, he had directed Up. He directed
but
those
then he-
films, but he is now the CEO of
over.
Pixar. He's the dude. And that's a good person to have in that position is Pete Docter. I respect that dude. But Andrew Stanton as a director, I'm down, dude. I'm so down.
Finding Nemo. Hell
Dude,
yeah.
these guys created our childhood.
Yes, the five, right? The four, the five.
Pete Docter alone, Up, Soul, Inside Out, Monsters Inc., Monsters University, Wall-E, Toy Story 2, Elemental, Bugs Life, Inside Out 2, like...
Yes,
this guy
Pete
did
Docter.
fucking hit after The Incredibles.
That's
like,
growing up, yeah.
hit
And
after
then
fucking
you have
hit.
Andrew
Element.
Stanton, Finding Nemo, Wall-E. He did a couple other ones. At the very least, the cool thing about the Brain Trust is Pixar. They all sit around and write the script. They'll all come up with a story and then kind of hand it over to whoever's going to take the lead in the writing.
A Bug's Life.
Bug's Life.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, man.
I'm forgetting about one of them, dude. Who's the other
I beat that
Pixar
game, though.
lead?
Came out on PlayStation 2.
It's Stanton,
Beat it.
Doctor, Lasseter, and I know that there's a fourth.
4 Pixar.
There might even be 5, but I know for sure there's a fourth. I'm forgetting his name.
Edwin Catmull.
Okay. And
Good old-
he
good old
became the
Edwin.
president of Pixar, right? And kind of founder president.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the former CEO of Pixar and later became the president of the Walt Disney Animation Studio.
He just took over Walt Disney Studios in
Promoted.
general. Great.
Coming on up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy you made that announcement, CK. I'm down. If
Yeah,
Toy Story
for
5,
sure.
who directed 4?
Whoa.
I think it might have been
Doc, yeah.
Let me see.
I don't
Doc
believe
Brown?
that. Doc Brown.
Or director. Oh, never mind. Some dude named Josh Cooley.
Yeah. Let's bring it back to the Pixar, the Pixar format.
Train.
How do we feel about Joss Whedon being involved in this picture? He wrote. He was one of the writers on Toy Story. You guys know who Joss Whedon is? I know you guys would know who Joss Whedon is.
Joss
Yes.
Whedon, is he the guy from
Sweden?
No, not from The Big Bang Theory.
For the Sweden family?
Will Whedon.
Damn it.
No. Joss Whedon is most notoriously known for two things: Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
I was about to say that.
and he directed the first Avengers film.
Oh, whoa, okay.
So,
Damn, what a leap.
Buffy the White Girl.
well, yeah, dude, there's a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer following,
Oh, yeah.
huge. In fact, I think they're about to reboot it. But Joss Whedon
definitely watch
also
that.
stopped directing Avengers. He did Age of Ultron also, right? He did those two and then fucked off because the
Yeah.
dumbass got in trouble. He started saying some shit
another
and
thing.
like
I thought
he
Favreau was
started.
leading all those.
And then they're bringing him back to
No,
a Toy Story?
no. Well,
He only
Favreau
let
started
Iron
the
Man?
MCU with Iron Man. He was kind of the executive producer for all of them.
He also did a little bit of Justice League too.
Yeah.
Apparently he was on that one. And
Yeah,
then
so-
Cabin in the Woods.
He's,
I love
he's a
that
good
film, bro.
storyteller.
It's a-
He
have
got
you
in
seen it?
trouble because he's an
It's cool.
asshole.
It's good.
He just treated his crew like shit. Was talking shit to the cast. Like he was a dick. Like a dick.
Don't you just love?
And he
Terry
wrote
Crews?
Toy Story. He was an asshole though, like a genuine asshole.
Well, he got to write Woody.
I mean, most directors are, I guess, right?
He
He got to
canceled.
write Potato Head.
I want to talk really quickly because I know we're probably getting ready to wrap up here. I want to talk about John Lasseter and what happened with
The
him. And I
director.
want to get everybody's take on this because I don't think it's fair. I think it was the safe thing that people did. I understand to an extent why it came about when it came about. But John Lasseter basically, he walked away from Pixar. He was asked to step down as the main dude at Pixar because
What year?
I mean this must have been right after Toy Story 3 or around there.
Recently.
Okay.
This was no, it wasn't that recent. Dude, Toy Story 3 is like fucking 10 years old at this point.
That's nuts.
I mean, that's recent.
13,
20,
right?
2018.
20 Toy Story
on,
3 is
baby.
2018.
Come on, baby.
Well, it says that he departed
Yeah,
from
okay.
Disney in 2018.
So
When
2018,
did Toy Story 3 come out?
Toy Story,
13, I think 2013.
Toy Story 3, 2010.
Oh gosh,
How
what was
is
the,
it-
what was the last
15.
film that Lasseter directed?
A ver.
2010?
Yeah, dude, 15 years old.
It's 15.
I love Google AI.
You were like 2 years old when that came out. God.
Dude, the last film
You're
that he
still in your mom's
directed.
womb, bro.
Dude, I know I was swimming. And I was in elementary school when that came out.
Yeah.
Trying to beat the race, bro.
Yeah, for real. John Lasseter's last film as director was Cars 2 in 2011.
Wow.
2011. Whoa.
Oh, man.
So yeah,
went
I
out
was
with a
right.
bang.
Right around that time, like Toy Story 3 came out 2010, 2011. He kind of started departing.
Went out with a bang.
Went out with a bang.
Or was it just a fender bender?
It was a fender bender. John Lasseter basically got canceled because if you see behind the scenes of any Pixar, like if you see the DVD bonus features, you see the Pixar process. You see how John Lasseter came in. They would show, literally, man, like they would go into his office at Pixar, and he's the guy who wore all the Pixar shirts. He's the guy who had custom button-ups made of all the Pixar characters. He loved this world. You go into his office, he has every toy of Pixar and Disney in his office.
A true
He had a
fanatic.
fucking train built around his fucking house just because, again, he has that animation, that imagination of a child and loved working in the space. The issue that came about with John Lasseter is that he was the guy known around the office as coming to you, male or female, and he'd hug you. That's it.
He's the one that said that's my culture.
He was
I'm
just
Italian.
he was just the hugger in the office, and this was around the time where kind of the Me Too movement started playing out.
Damn. Yeah, 2000.
So he was hugging people,
17.
and he was they basically went to him, the chair, I guess the board of Pixar, and were like, maybe right now is not the time for you to be boss. Maybe you should step down. All because some people started feeling like I didn't feel comfortable that he hugs me. That's it.
This seems
That's-
like that one
Well, I
meme.
mean,
where
There's
it's
no it's a deeper meaning or he spent time with an intern and hug. No,
Hot
he
take.
hugged
Carlos,
people.
Have you
Hot
ever
take
had that
justified.
awkward hug from
I
a
have. He
coworker?
probably just gave awkward hugs.
What if he hugged them from the
Justified.
back?
Is it justified? That's my
Right.
question here.
Yeah.
What?
You say yes?
Yeah.
What happened?
Don't touch me.
Fair. As
Do
John
you want to
Eric
get
just-
your crown removed?
That knee
I
was
just
good,
don't like
No,
that
okay.
we lost one of the most creative minds in not just in animation, in storytelling.
Yeah.
Somebody who really held true to the spirit of
Yeah.
what pure storytelling was because of that.
Yeah.
There's people who have done substantially worse that have somehow made it.
I don't
No,
like the hug
I-
like
Weren't,
that.
weren't we talking about Diddy?
We don't know. We don't know what type of hug it was.
No, we do.
What the fuck?
The people, no, we
He
do.
got
Come
one
on.
of those hugs.
Come on. The people who were quote unquote like coming
Have you
out.
seen Joe Biden hug that little girl? And sniff
And
her hair
that
just-
man became president.
That's what I'm saying.
And
You
that
can't
man
hug like
became
that. Is you
president.
cool with
I
that?
don't know.
No, I feel like during that time, and it happened
That
to a
scar's
lot of
little
people.
girl, bro.
It's politics, dude. He got asked to step down over politics, not over
Merit.
merit or not just
Allegations.
merit, but
Dude, it's kind of hilarious that we made that guy president.
well, yeah,
Think
that
about
too.
it in
No,
the worst way.
I mean Lassiter in terms of politics. Like
No,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah. But I'm saying, like, you never know. Like, if something like that came out,
No, but
they're not gonna be like, "Oh, he hugged him and I'm
you
sorry,
know,
humping him."
I just,
no, they're just gonna say,
I will say,
But let me put it to you this way.
They could've
I
fucking-
promise you. I promise you. I will let you finish
My
your
bad,
thought.
my
But
bad, yeah, my bad.
let me put it to you this way: when you get somebody like Harvey Weinstein, or Diddy, right? You know, no. You get
Throw
when you get
Epstein
that
on there,
news.
Jackson.
When you get that news, you're like, yeah, of course that motherfucker did
Okay,
it.
okay.
Like you know, like.
I will say this: John Lasseter isn't
And with-
necessarily the most handsome kind of guy.
He was the
So-
sweetest guy in the world.
I know,
dude.
but
like,
he is not the most handsome. I'm not saying that maybe that it could be like that meme where it's like two dudes saying the same exact thing. This is harassment. This is flirting.
Well,
But
SNL
one of
has a
them
great
is
skit about that.
Chad, you know.
Where it's, you know,
my
the only one gets
take on that is that because he wasn't the most handsome dude, it was like, why is Shrek hugging me? Genuinely, some people
Yeah,
would want a Shrek hug.
I do agree with you. Like that's kind of bullshit though. Like Shrek wants a hug too.
Shrek wants a hug, bro.
If
Like,
it's just try, bro.
dude, the guy
I
was
wasn't even
married.
trying.
He has kids. He was a
Hugs to
wholesome.
get
You
weird.
can like, I don't know. Everybody has their fair share on how to read people.
Yeah.
You could read John Lasseter to know that that man had no ill intentions. That's like if Mr. Rogers came to hug you. Are you really going to accuse Mr. Rogers
Bro,
of
I
being a
thought the
fucking
same thing
creep
about Crosby like about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
in 2018?
I thought the same thing about Crosby, bro. He was the
No.
Come on.
You know that motherfucker did
Nah,
it.
bro. He was the family guy, the standard.
Did he
No.
smell like old people?
I have no idea. I'm
just
sorry.
trying- I'm just
Dalal,
trying
you
to-
had
yeah,
a point.
I'm just trying to say you never know.
No, I was just gonna say that during that time, especially like the Me Too movement,
Yeah.
it was a very charged time,
Yeah.
because it didn't matter. Like the whole
say
point of the
Crosby or
movement was
Cosby?
to say that nobody is supposed to be above the law, and nobody's supposed
Sure,
to be above.
sure.
So it doesn't matter if you were a childhood icon. It doesn't matter if you're a famous celebrity. Like if you were
Ornament.
guilty of doing something that was sexual harassment or made somebody uncomfortable, like that's who it targeted. But I remember during that time, it felt like I remember getting annoyed, and it wasn't that I didn't want to side with the victims or like
Right.
literally hear out the plea, but
It was just everybody.
it was just it sounded like every person you pointed at, they were doing something wrong.
And don't get me
And
wrong,
that-
it brought a
that-
lot of good.
From
It brought
that
a lot of good for
It
society.
did, absolutely,
but-
and it got rid of the monsters, but it also
Right.
people
Some-
got caught in the fire.
Exactly.
You know,
I got
Exactly.
Kevin Spacey's masterclass if you guys want.
Dude, seriously, Kevin Spacey, poor fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, come
Fucking
on.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
House of Cards. Come on.
Well, I never.
No,
really
but
understood-
genuinely, he ended up being fucking. Went to
Dude.
court, lost all his money,
And
just so
now-
that they could be like, "Sorry, dude, we fucked up."
Yeah.
No, man. I mean, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Isn't he playing? Isn't he going to be in a role where like he plays somebody that actually got wrongly accused of?
Oh,
Me
I don't
Too?
know.
I mean,
think I
they're
heard
always
him say that.
planning their comeback. You know, they always got
But
their.
the point is, John Lasseter got caught in the fire. Okay, and he's just like, I don't know. My heart really goes out for that one because it's John fucking Lasseter. You just read all of the shit he directed, all the shit that he was a part of, and like he directed
dude.
Toy Story. Man.
It goes back to that
I
whole
get
thing
you,
of
I
like,
get you.
can you separate the art from the artist?
Yeah.
I hot take. I feel like as a culture you should,
right.
but
Michael Jackson.
Bro, I love Michael Vick, but he killed dog.
I mean, but
Talk
yeah,
about
he
a-
killed dogs. But you seen them stats, bro?
Michael Jackson. He was the best fucking lefty quarterback ever, bro. Oh shit! Woo!
He was
Dude, the main dog, the main homie.
he
of
was
this
already
podcast.
here. This is his second entrance.
I'm
How did you not
covering.
see
I
this?
can't see shit up.
Damn, you fucking scared me, dude.
Anyways, again,
I'm
anybody
missing that
comment
one.
below. I don't know. I think that John Lasseter is.
Should we still be listening to Michael Jackson in 2025?
No,
Yes, absolutely.
Because that
He was-
motherfucker
I'm
done
a
did it. That motherfucker did.
He did
Oh man, I
not.
feel terrible. I showed my mom the documentary, and she can't anymore.
Yeah, bro.
Look at
Especially
the documentary.
the
like,
hand thing.
R. Kelly, bro.
do any research on the documentary, and you'll see
Oh my
that
God.
like there's so much bullshit that the guy said.
Oh yeah.
Any research.
No, but I'm looking at
Wait, on which
the
one?
videos.
On
Michael
the
Michael Jackson?
fucking where he talks about like traveling to Simi Valley was to touch some kid, but
No. I'm talking about
then
the
you're
videos.
like, nah, like that,
Well, no, we're not even talking about that.
Wait, are you talking about Michael Jackson?
yeah.
No, we're talking about Toy Story.
The-
A beautiful little kid
Wait,
story.
the documentary with like the three.
Touching
We
little
should probably
kid.
cut this part out.
The never-ending. What is it called? The Neverland.
Leaving Neverland.
Leaving Neverland.
Yeah,
Neverland.
if you see it, like there's literally dates. People have the physical receipts where that you can see Michael Jackson was over here doing this on this day,
Can you
and
do
they're
other
claiming
gestures?
that he was there on the same day at the same time.
Oh shit.
So it's kind of like, whoa, like that's this.
Oh, so like they fact checked it and it's wrong.
Yeah, and if you go back, it also shows that the kids were paid. Well, now adults were paid like $60,000 or something like that for like just to say bullshit. Honestly,
Your mom can go back and listen to Jackson, bro. It's all
Yeah.
good. My point is, there's controversy wrapped up in it. But if there's a scale of the law, John Lasseter was never really accused of anything "quote unquote" inappropriate. It depends on what side of the spectrum you lie
Yeah.
on there. But he was never accused. He was never sued. He was never taken to the law. Nothing, dude. He was just asked to step down from a role he was really good at.
really good.
And I honestly think to an extent, and I'm glad
Yeah.
Pete Docter came in to save the company, but John Lasseter leaving started a weird decline in Pixar, man. Started like there was no fucking wrongs when he was involved. Yeah. When he left, it was like hit or miss. And it's almost like Pixar lost his soul. He was the founder, dude. He was the dude, you know? And it
Yeah.
wasn't like a Jordan Belfort thing, or it wasn't like controversy. It was just like,
I'm not fucking leaving.
yeah, dude. Like genuinely, he just was forced to step away from a company he built from the ground up. He was really good at as a storyteller. The heart and soul of Pixar, man. It just really bums me out that John Lasseter never got his return. You know, he never got to live out his years in Pixar the way he wanted to.
So he hasn't done anything since 2011, or like with another
I
company?
think he has exec produced some shit, but not through Pixar.
And then he has. I mean,
The only thing he gets credit for is anything that he was involved in that Disney or Pixar releases. His name is on as exec producer just by default.
Yeah.
So like if there's any
Apparently,
Toy Story IP released, his name is on it.
it has to.
Yeah.
Luck in 2022. He was a EP on it.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Toy Story, from
Again, John
an epic masterpiece.
Lasseter, if you're watching this, man, my heart goes out to you. I just
Yeah.
what
Same,
you
dude. If you
created,
didn't do
dude.
it, I'm with you. If you did do it,
Damn.
bro, I don't know, bro. I'm
Any
not gonna go with
rating
something else, bro.
changes?
Rating changes. I'll go.
Well, after I heard this director, it's gonna go down.
I'll go up to a 9.2. I feel like there's a lot of merit in Toy Story, and I know if I sit with it longer, which you would think like, oh, I've been sitting with it for years, but no, if I sit with it longer as a film, it's really solid. I can't think of any areas where I could say, oh, if that improved, it'd be like a 10 and all that. Like I don't know, I can't get into the nitpicks of it, but story was great. The comedy was balanced. The emotional beats hit correctly, and then that balance of all animated films making something that children can relate to and understand, but then adults can also connect with.
Yeah.
And I think that it's so hard to do that balance.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I remember my
utilizing
dad
all the
laughing.
filmmaking techniques. So I'll go up to a 9.2 and definitely room to grow.
That's fair. I'm at a 9.7. I think if we were rating Pixar as a whole, like or like Toy Story as a whole, as a franchise, quote unquote, I'm very happy with that franchise. I'm very happy with even 4. Right, we're always like, they should have left it at 3, but 4, and it seems like 5 might be on a good trajectory if they're getting the right storytellers, and that's what I love about Pixar. You're gonna get the right storytellers to help tell this story. They're gonna bring back people who give a shit about these stories to really helm them. I mean, even Soul wasn't it directed by the same person who did the Spider-Verse?
I think so. Shit,
Yeah.
it comes out like it is because fucking Soul.
It is.
Oh my
If I'm not
God.
mistaken, I think his name's Bernard something.
Bernard.
The director. They had multiple directors. The Spider-Verse had like 4 fucking directors, but he was one of the main ones. But
Pete Docter directed Soul.
oh, okay. Maybe he was a writer, but I know there was a black dude. That black dude, who's a director, was involved in both properties. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Mark.
Peter Ramsey is the only black dude.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one
He's
thing.
an American illustrator and storyboard artist.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other 2 guys are white.
Well, that narrows it down.
Soul.
A black guy and 2 white guys.
Oh no, that was Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I'm thinking of something else. But
Well, that narrows it down.
I know for sure Soul
is
was
just
one
some
of the
white dudes.
some fucking white dude.
I didn't like Soul. It was too heavy. For
I need to watch it again. I need to give it another chance.
Look, I gotta admit, I
Got
used to
heavy
have a
quick.
ritual when I lived in New Jersey. We used to get my brother, his girlfriend, and I would get high every single day, and we'd all do our own thing. I would either play
In
Minecraft
Jack
or watch
City?
Soul.
In Jackson, New Jersey? You lived?
In New Jersey, well, it was kind of like New Jersey, New York, like right there on the border.
It's Jack City, bro.
But yeah, I used to get stoned and watch Soul
Watch Soul.
Or play Minecraft.
or play Minecraft, dude. Fuck with me in survival.
Anyways, any other ratings or any last kind of moments for Pixar?
I'll give it a good update. 9.7.
9.7.
I like 9.7.
9.7. I thought you were at a 9.7.
I was
I
at a
was at
9.7.
I
I'll
was
stay
at
at
9.4.
9.9. You know, I grew up with this film. This film taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Just go 10 at that point, bro.
Yeah.
Nah,
Commit.
It's good, man. These guys.
better things have come out.
No, it's because cinematically
Yeah.
again, we're rating this not as an animated
Exactly.
film. We're rating this as cinema, and
'Cause I'm also reading it just
and again, we think it's cinema. It has a lot
nostalgia.
to say for this format, for everything. But
You got to think about the shot when he fell from the stairs, and then it's a close up. It goes out to the broken arm,
And
and
then-
then it does like a fucking 360, shows the world upside down.
and Randy Newman, by the way, Randy fucking Newman, the Pixar Bob
You've
Dylan,
got
if
a
you will.
friend in me.
I was telling Dalal that originally Steve Jobs called Bob Dylan's producer and was like, "Please, this movie needs Bob Dylan
What?
to write the music."
Oh, okay. I was
And
gonna
it's
be like,
Bob Dylan. He's not going to do shit like this. So they're like, no, so they get Randy Newman. And
Yeah.
great pick. But Randy Newman, I've always thought
You
of Randy
got a
Newman as like the
friend.
Pixar Bob Dylan.
That's hard.
These fucking existential songs and this kid packaging and shit. Yeah. Anyways, we have a final take over here.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Oh, it's a
The
two-parter.
first one. Do you guys miss like the fake like bloopers they used to do like afterwards?
I do, for Toy Story 2.
You know what? Yeah.
Toy Story 2 started this.
Yeah, they doing what?
I miss that so much.
Yes, I agree.
And the second one, when is Speed Racer? Come on.
Speed Racer. We need
Guys,
to
on the
officially add
comments, like
Speed
on the
Racer
comments.
to the request list.
I
And
think it was in there.
Grizz,
Somebody requested.
Grizz wanted us to do
Grizz
it.
and
so-
also
Okay.
my coworker.
Your coworker.
Yeah, Danny.
Also-
Shout out to Danny.
It's
but
been interesting watching. So
she
I'm
like
down.
says that Speed Racer is the best film. Like
You know what? Not for nothing, man, but I know for sure this falls into this category. I know for sure we have a sci-fi month coming up, and there's only one film or 2 films that have been picked. So maybe during sci-fi month, because that counts,
We get
right?
shit
Yeah,
in it.
I
absolutely.
think so. Yeah.
All right, cool.
We should-
but yeah,
we
I
should
do
do a
miss the
double
bloopers,
feature.
man. The bloopers in Toy Story 2 are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love them.
We should do a double feature for Sci-Fi Month: Arrival and Speed Racer.
I'm ready.
I already know what I'm doing. I already know what I'm picking for sci-fi month, so you guys can't fuck with me there.
Whoa,
Oh,
Solaris.
anything but Metropolis, dude.
Next week, next week on the WatchTower Film Podcast, we talked to Zach Passero. So it's gonna be really cool. He's gonna be coming in. What?
Oh wait, no.
No,
Says our
what?
producer.
Huh?
Who's that?
No,
God?
I thought
Oh
we
no,
agreed
no,
on
no.
this.
Listen to him. Listen to him.
Is that God?
Dalal, you son of a bitch!
I'm sorry.
You ignorant slut.
You ignorant?
He told me that we had to change the schedule. He was so confident about it.
Do I-
I'm
you
sorry.
ignorant
Okay,
slut?
no. So, thanks for joining our animation month.
We're closing out Animation Month. I'm sorry.
Bye,
I was
Animation
I
Month.
also introduced the episode this way, so fuck me. Next week, we're going to jump into foreign language films. We're going to be curated entirely by me. I don't know. We'll see how this feels.
Oh, wait, yeah, you were right. Sorry.
Oh, gosh! Fucking A. Next week, we talk to Zach Passero. Son of a bitch. Next
I
week, we
can never be wrong.
we talked to Zach Passero, writer, director
humble.
of The Weird Kids, fellow animator. He
Hell
knows
yeah.
so much about animation. He actually curated a block for the El Paso Film Festival for animation.
It was
a
fantastic.
great fucking block.
First year that they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all him. So we'll talk
Knocked
to
it out
him.
the
He has a lot of great insight on animation. So stay tuned for that. Week after that, we get into foreign language films. So thank you for tuning into the WatchTower Film Podcast. Comment below. Let us know what you guys want us to do next. Thank you. Good night.
Love you, everybody.